Welcome to episode 95 of the Reptile Gumbo podcast. 5 more. I haven't even looked at a calendar to see where that actually falls.
I was just about to say, what are you going to do when you hit 100, man?
I have no idea.
January 18th.
So
That's if, are we doing one next week?
I thought so. I think I've got somebody lined up.
I'm probably going to go uptown.
What?
Yeah, it's hunting season.
Oh, and it's Christmas break.
Yeah.
Maybe we won't do one.
Yeah,
maybe
I probably won't be here.
Maybe we'll take a week off.
Yeah.
We made
So
it.
that'll be January. Ooh.
It'll be my birthday weekend?
No, it'll be January 25th, and I don't know what day that week I'll be in Louisiana.
That's the weekend before Conroe, or the week before Conroe.
That is the week before Conroe. I'm praying that I'm back in time.
Okay. Well, we
Because
will.
I don't.
We will cross that bridge when we get there.
Lord.
So we may or may not have a show. We'll probably not have a show next
I'm
week.
like
We'll probably
glowing over here.
That is a very bright shirt.
It's my Grinch Squad shirt. It was Grinch Day at school today.
Yeah, anybody watching the video that you might be blinded.
Thanks, Victor.
But so yeah, I'm just excited because I'm a few days away from my 2-week break.
2.5 to be exact.
A 2.5 week? It's not 2.5 weeks.
No,
break.
it's 2.5 days till our break.
Oh, 2.5 days until the break.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we get 2 weeks off.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're not traveling for the first time ever.
One of the small perks of being a teacher.
Ever. I don't think we have not traveled since we've had our child. I'm pumped.
About going nowhere?
Yes.
I'm just pumped about sleeping in. Because every weekend we've had lately where it was like, we're going to sleep in. I haven't got to sleep in.
I don't even know what that means.
I spent 7 hours at the Galleria Mall in Houston.
On purpose?
It started out as on purpose.
It didn't start out as a 7-hour trip.
It did not.
It was kind of like
You guys
Gilligan's
went to the
Island.
Galleria at Christmas.
It was proof that malls are dying.
It really was.
It was not miserable. I mean, there was a crowd, but not what you would expect in a weekend in December.
Our daughter's percussion group performed in front of the Christmas tree on the ice skating rink. And then they got to ice skate.
That's cool.
For a discounted cost, which was great.
Rachel and I went Christmas shopping yesterday because I took the day off because we didn't get home from Slidell till like 2 a.m. And 2 stores was my limit. Rachel went in the rest of them, and I sat in the truck and took a nap.
There you go.
I now know what my limit is. That as I get older, it used to be 3 stores. Now it's 2.
His dad went into the mall to buy me a piece of Fiesta ware that I wanted for my collection one year.
Wow.
And before I opened it, he goes, I need you to understand just how much I love you.
I can't think of the last time I went to a mall besides our open air, the beautiful open air mall where it's 100 fucking degrees all year,
But there's a Lego store.
Yeah.
Well, it's not Lego. It's a
They sell Lego.
They sell Lego.
We had a good time. We had fun. We had a good time this weekend though.
Good.
Oh, I went to there's a toy store at the mall. This isn't reptile related at all, but I'm just going to talk about it. It's one of those toy stores in a mall where it's not a real toy store. Like they're not toys that you've seen commercials for.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a robot figurine for sale called hold on,
The Tyrant Wasp.
The Tyrant Wasp.
It looked like Bumblebee.
It looked
from
just like
Transformers.
Bumblebee, but they couldn't call it Bumblebee, so it was called Tyrant Wasp.
Interesting.
For whatever reason, that was hilarious for him and
It is still
Josephine.
hilarious.
Joe was still laughing about it earlier today.
I'm glad you guys had a good weekend because mine was fucking terrible.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I literally had the worst show I had all year this weekend.
Well, that sucks. That's weird for Slidell.
Very, very, very strange for Slidell.
That's usually a huge.
Well, it started off. We got to the hotel Friday.
Oh yeah,
that we stayed at 3 times before.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone stays at.
And we walk in and we have Otis and that lady who's always usually so nice.
Yeah.
She's like, we are no longer pet friendly.
Oh shit.
And I'm like,
she's usually amazing.
Okay. And I was like, when did that change? I don't remember.
Damn.
And I'm like, look, I just want to know if it changed since I booked this room at the beginning of September. Could have been a week ago. Could have been a year ago. And I'm like, that's the story you're going to go with? You're just going to stand here and fucking lie to me?
That's so weird because she used to be
so
awesome.
Nice.
Oh, sad.
So
what was a shame is that Lori and Sean didn't know either.
Right. Because I messaged Shorty, like, hey, did you know? Lori's like, I had no idea. Lori came down, tried to talk to him. Sean talked to him. The owner of apparently got a new owner.
Yeah.
He came up there and was just a complete dick.
Oh.
So the cheapest that hotel was supposed to be $60 a night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cheapest hotel I found was $210 a night, and it was in Pearl River.
Oh,
Damn.
So it was 20 minutes away. And it was a microtel, which come to find out are pretty decent hotels.
they are.
It's a Wyndham property. I didn't realize that. So I just microtel doesn't sound.
It does sound like it's cheap.
Yeah. It wasn't $200 fucking a night. But yeah, so that was
the joys of traveling with animals.
yes. After it took 9 hours to get to Slidell,
Ugh.
I got to take a wonderful
Did you hit
tour
traffic?
of the super nice East Baton Rouge Parish back roads.
Oh, so you didn't even hit traffic like Orange, Texas, where there's normally.
No, it was in Baton Rouge at the bridge
Damn,
by
Oh.
Tiger Stadium
that's
or whatever they call it, Death Valley.
yeah.
Death
I wonder
Valley.
why?
So
Was there like construction or something? Or?
I never made it that far. It had me exit and go. You know how you can go on the north side of
Yeah.
Baton Rouge.
Oh, you exited before the bridge,
Yes.
went left and around.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And you come
But
up
when
to
we got around there was a wreck.
Did we get all the way to
Yeah.
Denham Springs?
Yes, eventually. But then it
Yeah.
took me through all these neighborhoods.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and you're in the U-Haul.
That is not a nice area
Oh, yeah.
at
that's-
all.
Yeah,
And it
we've
was
been
school
through
zone
there.
time, and there's like a school in every fucking corner there.
Yep.
And I'm like,
Yep.
I just want to drive through here fast.
Oh God.
So, yeah, 9 hours to go. What should have been 5.
You know who did have a great weekend? Was our buddy April.
April had a good weekend.
She vended the show, and she had a
Yeah,
great weekend.
she was right next to us.
She made room for more snakes.
April is the only reason I made any money this weekend. So thank you,
Oh,
April.
yay, April.
Thanks, April. That makes Robert feel a little better. He's easier to deal with.
Yay.
But so yeah, that herb that's weird. So that's usually a big one. But speaking of herb shows, the next one is until January 15th or 16th in Oklahoma City. Robert won't be at that one. I won't be at that one. That is on the other side of the world, basically from here. But then Longview, Texas, January 22nd, 23rd. Go to that show if you want grilled cheese. I know it sounds like not a big deal, but there's a grilled cheese food truck that does that show.
That is the bomb.
Oh, God, that's amazing grilled cheese. Because that's not just grilled cheese. Like there's a barbecue macaroni and cheese grilled cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
That shit is
Oh.
awesome.
So I ordered, I haven't even mentioned the couple people that were there knew about it. Chris, Tracy's husband, was
Yeah.
out front smoking. So he saw it go down.
What?
I ordered 2 pizzas from that. Remember last time I
Oh, that
ordered
place
those
was pretty
pizzas?
good.
and
Yeah,
They were
You
so good.
loved that pizza place.
Yes. So I ordered 2 pizzas through DoorDash with all the fees and shit. It was like $53, but they're giant pizzas and
I like brick oven.
When
like,
you
they're
say
good.
giant pizza, we're talking like
huge.
fit on the top of your
Yeah.
car giant,
So,
not in the back seat of your
I
truck.
wait. It takes an hour to get there. The dude gets out and walks up and he's got a box this big and he hands it to me. And I'm like, where's the fucking rest of it at, dude? And he's like, this says Robert. And I'm like, I open it up and it's 2 slices of pepperoni pizza. I'm
Not
like,
for $53, it ain't.
I'm like, God damn, better be some good fucking
It's good pizza. It ain't that good.
So he's like, I'll go back over there. He's like, but can you call the restaurant? I said, sure. He's like, there were a bunch of 14-year-olds working in there. I don't think they know what the fuck they were doing. I was like, okay. So I call and she's like, oh, well, there's another 2 boxes here that say Robert too. He must have just grabbed the wrong one. So I call him and he's like, they handed them to me, man. And so I do the whole thing with DoorDash, about, hey, send me a new pizza. So they send another dude over there. Well, my guy gets there first and takes the pizzas. And then that guy calls me, hey, they said he already took 2 pizzas and they don't want to make you 2 more. I'm like, fuck, tell them to make me 2 more for the inconvenience. They wouldn't do it. So then I'm like telling Sanjay or whatever his name was at DoorDash, you need to give me some money back for the inconvenience because it took an extra hour. So they gave me $8 credit, DoorDash credit.
Oh my Lord.
But got the pizzas and they were still warm.
That's
I was
good.
surprised.
Those
They were
pizzas are
excellent.
good.
We have a whole entire one in our fridge at home because
Oh,
it's at
shit.
home.
There you go.
Probably what I'm gonna eat when I get home because my beautiful wife got home. She's like, I forgot to put anything on for dinner or take anything out.
Well, James doesn't eat what I cooked for dinner.
I'm having pizza rolls, but I'm excited. I like pizza rolls. Apparently, I ruined the plans after school. After school, they were going to go to the store and then the grocery store and get food and then come home. But we went to the store and then it was right next to PetSmart, and so I bought some more fish. And because I bought fish, we had to come right home.
So
And tell Chris to shut up. I can already see you typing and smiling. Chris Eaton can suck a nut.
How'd you know what we were talking about?
Oh God.
Fuck you, Chris. But anyways, Herp Show, the big one in Conroe is January 29th. We're talking about January 29th and 30th. So if you're gonna make it to a show, come out
That's
to
right.
the Conroe show.
And if you want to get your pre-order in now for Conroe, it would probably be for the best. You can reach out to Lone Star Reptile Racks. If you are looking for a high quality PVC rack, look no further than Lone Star Reptile Racks. They offer a variety of sizes for all types of snakes, geckos, rats, and more. You can even order something custom. Shipping is available, or you can plan to pick up at a Herps Reptile show near you. Visit lsreptileracks.com to reach out to Lone Star Reptile Racks and place your order today.
But not Oklahoma City because I won't be there.
Won't be there. But Conroe's an easy one because that's right. That's an hour away from the house. So
Mhm. Yep. And right now, because I didn't sell shit this weekend,
yeah,
I have a bunch of racks that don't. I'm using some of them to fill some orders.
Yeah.
But I have some that aren't things that people ordered. So if you need a hatchling rack or an adult rack, 6 tub,
70
or 3 tub 70 series, or a 16 quart gecko rack.
And the great thing is right now he's got PVC, so
And fucking rat racks. I still have like 9 of those rat racks.
yeah, someone buy those rat racks.
Yeah, I have like 9 rat racks if people need some rat rack.
Rat racks.
I almost said some nut sucking because of fucking Chris on there.
Fuck you, Chris.
Yeah.
I don't know who it is. Someone asked if I still eat pizza rolls every day at lunch. Yeah.
I don't know. You found a couple things at HEB that you've been swapping it up for.
Yeah, but I'll eat pizza rolls all day, every day.
Look, I made ham and macaroni and cheese and green beans, and he chose to not eat ham.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat pizza rolls. It's gonna be great. All right.
I'll eat here before I leave. Did Rachel call you?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
About tomorrow night. Since
No.
we're all going to be over here, we thought about maybe just bringing something over.
Oh yeah, I
over
forgot
here.
tomorrow night.
I didn't know people were going to be here tomorrow
I'm
night.
gonna tell you. Speaking of Chris Eaton, I got to record tomorrow night because Chris Eaton.
Rachel is going to be recording it like before us, and then we're recording.
Yeah.
After the 3 of us.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you that you're.
I found that out today. Thanks, Chris.
I found it out right now.
Hey, Katie. So tomorrow.
So I have Chris Eaton to thank for this.
Yeah,
it's his fault.
saying?
Blame
You need
him.
to bring Antoine in.
Okay. I want to say Wiregrass
He's just
Exotics.
sitting there going like this.
Wiregrass Exotics over in Ozark, Alabama. Give them a visit. Go check them out. Great store. Great feeder programs. If you need anything, if you're in that area of Southeast Alabama, Georgia, Florida, that whole area, go visit Wiregrass Exotics.
And tonight, for all of you out there wondering, we're really going to get to the bottom of who is better,
What?
James
It's not a matter of being better.
or Antoine.
It's not a matter of being better.
Hey, bring him in so he can defend himself when he says something stupid.
All right. All right. Welcome, Antoine Hood of High Desert Pythons.
Is
I
this one
love
of those
giving
like,
him shit. I
is
love
this
it.
like this gonna be like one of those like gotcha ambush journalism things?
No.
Or fuck-
That's my plan.
We're
I don't
going to
mind.
ambush James, and it's going to be great.
Oh, shit,
Okay,
you guys are
so let me give a background for everybody. Chris Eaton at Snakes and the Fat Man did a contest for everyone that was on 15 Minutes of Lame in 2021. The winner, who got the most votes, would get a chance to have their own episode in 2022.
And it's so cute that you thought you'd win.
No, I still could have won. The problem was some people spoiled it by cheating. And because it happened so much, because we can't have nice things, Chris, unfortunately, had to call the
Well,
what?
this is the second year of this
Where it's
this
got- people
contest,
cheated.
and every fucking time people have cheated.
Fucking people are
Sad
horrible.
day.
Like, you know,
I didn't
like
even know
Chris
about
said,
that last year.
Chris is like, you get to come on a dick and fart joke podcast. Why are you fucking cheating?
Oh, and it's not even like a cash prize.
Right.
But so Chris called it, and the person that had the most votes at the time, because I was gonna have a big finish. At
Really?
the time it was Antoine. I'm just saying there could have been a chance, and I think that
There
I
was
bet
no
if we go
chance.
search James's browser history, it's like how to have bots vote for you but have different IP addresses.
No, he can't even make a store for
God.
people to buy shirts. He's not that
I can.
involved.
I can. It actually messed up. I tried to do it the other day, and it messed up. I gotta fix it again.
No,
But anyways, hashtag not my winner.
you're such a mess.
But I also realized today the great thing is I ended up having Antoine on before Chris has him on, so I have my Antoine episode before Chris gets to have his. So fuck you, Chris.
I think Chris's words to me were that's kind of a hoe thing to do.
Oh god.
I didn't even think about it until today, and I was like, oh shit, I'm having him on, and he's gonna be on the first episode.
Yeah,
That's what
you hear
was.
that, Chris? That's his fucking that's his story.
That's
that
my
he-
story. I'm sticking to it.
God.
So But
I got
it's fine.
enough shit. I got enough shit to yap about for 10 podcasts. So
Yeah.
I love it.
So
Yeah, y'all
I'll
can
be
talk
all
about ball pythons on his episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so excited that
Yeah.
you're on though.
Fuck off, Chris. No one can see the chat. It's good. Anyways, so Antoine, for those people that keep like real reptiles and not ball pythons, introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm one of those ball python assholes. Antoine Hood, owner, High Desert Pythons. Been breeding and selling professionally since 2012, and been keeping since 05. So
That's
that's
awesome.
pretty much me in a nutshell. And then the past year and a half, I decided to finally like put my face out there because I was at the point where I wanted to make like a real business out of it and actually start selling some high end stuff. And I was like, well, when I buy stuff from people, I want to be comfortable with who I'm buying from and know them. So I figured I should put myself out there the same way. So I started like YouTube about a year and a half ago, boosting my Instagram stuff and just kind of showing up. And the first thing people said was, "Man, you black?" I was like, "Yeah, it's crazy, right?"
Oh my
It's
god.
like,
It is. You
it's
do kind of
funny.
stick out at shows,
It's
I'm
funny.
sure.
It's funny because I've been hanging around like the bush leaf forums and like the king snake pages and foreign classifieds for so long and everything. And now those people I've known for like almost a decade and a half, they're like, "Bro, I didn't know you were fucking black." I'm like, "That a problem?" They're like, "No, it just kind of threw me off guard." I'm just like, "Oh,
Oh my god.
okay." You know,
It is kind of like a
So-
unicorn in the reptile hobby.
Not really.
yeah, it's,
not
it,
not
it,
lately.
It used to
There's-
be, yeah,
It used
I'd
to be.
say
It used to be for sure. It used to be a bunch of white dudes.
Yeah.
yeah.
Bunch
It,
of
like, it
sketchy
was
looking
like, you
white
know,
dudes.
Well, there was a time where almost every reptile guy looked like either Brian Barczyk or Kevin McCurley. It
Yes.
was like that range right there, you know.
You're
or
right.
There was like, and then there was the regular reptile guys, and then there were like the biker meth dealers and shit who just happened to launder money by selling animals and stuff too. And then, over the years it changed, especially with education and, people with more YouTube channels getting things out there and people like understanding, especially snakes, they've getting a bad rap since the beginning of time pretty much. So I think just with the pressing on social media and YouTube, it helped out a lot. So now there's a lot more people, a lot more not white people in the reptiles now.
No.
So,
And I don't think it's not even.
Love it.
So it's not even like a white black thing though. There's a lot more women also in the hobby that were not in the hobby 20 years ago.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There were definitely women, and there were some big names in the hobby 20 years ago. But like,
It
I
was
talked about
very few and far between.
Well, I recorded the first 2 episodes of Pint Sized Reptiles with Jason and Travis the other day, and we talked about the fact that you're seeing families now at reptile shows. Which, when we went to Daytona in 2005, it definitely wasn't the same crowd that it is now at a show. Now you're seeing moms going in and like buying stuff for their kids, and families getting excited about buying the first corn snake or bearded dragon. And
it's because we all know moms have the final say.
well, and like I do see way more black people. There's way more black people at reptile shows now too,
Yeah.
which is
And then you have my dad who will walk through and go with us and be like, "This is some weird shit, but I'm happy for you," which is funny.
that's because he's an old black man from New York. It's all weird for him.
It's funny. But he does. He'll come walk around the shows with me, and he's like, "I'm glad that your people love you here," and like that's all he's got. God love him.
Yeah, when it's time to go, he's ready to go. But so why did you get into this? What was your life before this? Because you've had an interesting life prior to just reptiles.
Yeah, so it's funny because I didn't even know ball pythons existed until 05. I was active duty in the military. One of my Marines called me and was like, "Hey, Sergeant, I'm getting a room inspection, but I got a snake in my room." I'm like a huge boa? He's like, "No, I got a ball python." I was like, "What the hell is a ball python?" Like, I knew about colubrids, and I used to breed like Mexican black kings and have boas and stuff like that too. I've been a reptile guy my whole life. But I was like, "What the fuck is a ball python?" And then he showed me this thing crawled up near a rock, and I was like, "Which one's the rock and which one's the snake?" So I went in on it too. And then he was like, "Just can you watch it for me?" So I took it to the house, and he never asked for it again. So like I never heard from the guy. I got out the military. I had the snake for a few more years, and then I just started looking online and then seeing that people were making big business with these things that I had like zero interest in. So but I really didn't want to push until maybe 09, I saw a pinstripe pie online that Brian was selling. So I called the number, and he was like, "Yeah, you can have it for $12,500." And I was like, "Excuse me."
You could have it for $12,500.
I was like,
Keep that snake.
12. I was like, so then I was like, "Hey man, there's like money in these things." He was like, "Yeah, there's so many different color combos." I was like, "There are." So then I did. So at that point, I didn't know about morphs and pattern mutations and things like that. And then I just started doing some more research into them. And then, that's when the albinos came out, and the pies and spiders and pastels. And then I was like, well, before I start really doing this like serious, I decided to invest a little bit of money in it, figure out this whole rack system thing, and kind of see if I can keep a bunch of them alive for a couple of years. Because I've had some sketchy moments with some reptiles that didn't make it, So like,
yes,
I've had alligator snapping turtles that should live 200 years and they only live like 8 months. So I was like, let's fucking this. I was like, let's figure this thing out.
Yeah, I don't need a $12,500 dead snake.
Yeah, and then I was like, so eventually I would get the ingredients to make my own because I really like how that snake looked. And to this day, I never made a pinstripe pie. So, by the time I came close, I think 2 years ago, I made an inchy pinstripe pie, and that thing was not going for $12,500. It was going for like $400. So, yeah, and it kind of and it just grew from there, man. And then just over like that decade or some change up until this point, I really didn't. Honestly, the reason why I didn't kind of put my face out there and kind of get on social media and have a YouTube channel like everybody else is because I'm in so many different subcultures. Like, I used to race motorcycles. I run a martial arts gym. I'm, former military. I teach weapons combat. I teach self-defense stuff. And anytime I'm in any of those endeavors, I always felt like even though I was considered good or, an expert at my craft, I always had like this kind of imposter syndrome where I was like, I don't deserve to be out here running my mouth to the whole world about this yet until I get a little bit more experience, So when I finally got to the point where I can like articulate my own ideas from my own experience.
That hasn't stopped anybody from being on YouTube. I can tell you right now.
And that's why, there's so many of them. And that's why I only follow like a couple of them, But I wanted to get to the point where it like I wasn't just like regurgitating somebody else's words from some channel or something like that. It was for my failures and my screw ups and for my triumphs. And I can talk about those, And I've been real transparent about screwing up, about bad incubators and failed clutches and cutting stuff too early and just kind of, just messing up entire projects because I didn't want to listen to people. So the past couple, like year and a half, I just been sharing that experience with everybody. And hopefully they can know the right way to do things and learn from other people's experiences, not to fuck things up and actually have a growing business with this thing, Because now with people coming in, like I know people on their first year buying $12,000 and $15,000 animals, where my first clutch was a normal to a normal, So, you know what I mean? So,
well, and that's awesome to the show because we've talked before. People don't share the negatives enough in this hobby, especially when you get on something like YouTube. People are only filming the positives. So when you see somebody's YouTube presence, it seems like, man, they've got all their shit together, but you're not seeing all the things that went wrong because they're not going to put that out there.
I mean, I do think there's some things you should shut up about too. Like if you're doing a business and you have a huge collection and one of your animals, has an RI or does something or like kills a couple of animals off, you shouldn't, before you get all the info, you shouldn't be like, oh, everybody has Nido, they're all dying and shit. Like, there's also that extreme to that too. So, people do it and, that's their thing. But yeah, man, I'm just sharing this stuff with the world and also on the other end for the business aspect, making it easier to sell animals, because before my stuff even gets to the morph market, like by the time my YouTube channel airs, within the first 3 days, whatever I'm selling is mostly gone. So it was just a real good marketing tool.
Well, and so I will preface, I definitely do shit on ball python people all the time on this podcast, which is funny because I have a bunch of ball python. Well, I have a whole bunch of ball python people friends. Like I really like Corey.
Don't you still own ball pythons?
They're in the snake room.
I'm just saying we have them in our house.
I do. Probably 100.
Yeah, fuck them.
Ish.
But I know, but like Corey,
I couldn't tell you anything about them.
I love Corey. I love Mary.
Them.
And the reason I like Antoine is because he can make fun of himself and he's good with it. Like there's too many people that take themselves way too serious. But during the whole like the 15 minutes of fame thing and all that, Antoine was great about any
try
jokes.
Again, 15 minutes
of lame.
There you go.
That's right. But I love that Antoine can make fun of himself and be cool with it because I cannot stand people that take themselves way too serious.
Antoine Feely says to quit shining your head before a show.
No, I need to say this actually stunned me today. I almost put a hat on, but I was like, fuck it. I like a half sucked milk dud right
You can't
now.
tell. You can't
Video
tell.
and shit, man. Put a fucking bowler buffer on it or something.
And for those that have never seen Antoine, he's a big motherfucker. So I make fun of him from hundreds of miles away.
I was going to say.
It's much easier from where I'm located.
Oh, goodness.
Be way different if we were in person.
I give you a big hug. I might crack it back a little bit, but just so you know I'm there. But it's all love, man. Yeah, I mean, like honestly, dude, you made the campaign like fun because if you wasn't in there making memes and talking shit to everybody, I would have made that video about you and made a big thing about that.
It's so
I'm not gonna
funny.
lie, my Jello meme, my Bill Cosby meme about him made me laugh when I did it.
Dude, there were so many people messaging me. Do you see the shit James just posted?
Oh yeah.
I'm like, I promise you, the people that it's towards don't give a fuck. They think it's hilarious.
And it's so funny because I mean, you guys obviously the James that everybody else knows versus the James that I see here at home on a regular basis. They really are two different people. I mean, granted, I see the asshole that everybody else sees quite often as well. But
Wait, what about my asshole?
Like right before the show started last week.
Oh, that was rough. Thanks, Robert, for bringing that back up again.
I reposted the one where like I'm in front of like the old USSR flag.
Oh my god!
And then like all of my veteran friends got heated. They're like you're a goddamn American hero.
Oh my god!
I told Katie like this is so much funnier because of who Antoine is.
Well, watching him laugh at himself and the stuff that he's been putting together over the last few weeks, hands down, has been my favorite thing of the whole part because he would just start laughing and then he'd start like texting on his phone and then he'd start laughing even more and I'm like, all right, you got to be in the chat because I don't know what the hell's going on.
Shit.
But it was so great.
Because Katie would be like, that seems really mean. I was like, no, go laugh. It's fine.
I'm a sissy when it comes to that kind of stuff. I'm like, let's be kind and use our good words. And James is like, fuck it, and just goes. And I'm just like,
I wish you could hear this snake behind me shitting its brains out in this club. I thought it was like my ducting going bad or something because we had rain today in the desert for the first. This is like the most rain we've had here in like 5 years. Jeez. And I thought it was a ducting. I hear like, what the fuck is that?
Rain. Did you start throwing snakes together when it started raining?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. It's so dry here. That's why I have to use PVC here in the desert because if we have more than 5% humidity, it's moist out here. Moist. That fucking word. It's fucking moist out here. So yeah, we
Antoine's making it moist out here.
Oh my gosh.
Nasty word. So yeah, I do. I have
understand why people are upset with that word.
My wife, she hates it. She gets all cringy.
I don't know.
James and I were on Thanksgiving. We were talking about how moist the turkey was, and she was just. We had her trapped in a corner too. She couldn't get out.
Y'all are so mean.
Well, full disclosure, most times when I say moist, I do look off to the side and lick my lips and shit. So maybe.
Oh my God.
Pull the LL Cool J.
The situation disturbing. It's not the word; it's your actions.
I couldn't imagine having a collection in an area that dry. Like I've always lived in Southeast, so humidity's never been an issue.
We walked outside today for recess, and all my kids were like, "Can we go in? It's horrible." I'm like, "This is gross out here today, guys." Like, you got 10 more minutes. Go.
The ground is wet. It hasn't rained. It's just the ground is wet.
Everything is so gross.
It was a lot of trial and error, but I had to go with like a coconut substrate. I'm not gonna say which one I go with because neither one of them pay me. But but it's the coconut one, and that and the PVC together kind of keeps them cool, And then I used to have an alligator snapping turtle at the old place that it was like a big 70-gallon tank in the room that kept it even more humid. But he committed suicide, so he's no longer with us. He decided to climb. He decided to climb up the heating cord and fall out of the tank and split his shell down the middle. So I'm looking on I'm out of town looking on my surveillance camera, and I'm like, man, poor guy, dude. He's like, but
that's rough.
Well, speaking of
rest in peace, Raphael. My God, I love
that. Hello with the waving hand.
I love that his name was Raphael.
Since
I think I'm the only one that called that.
No, I got. No, but since he won't say a coconut brand, I do want to bring up our giveaway this month. Our giveaway this month is sponsored by Reptile. Anybody out there looking for some great coconut bedding, you can win a block of coconut bedding from Reptile Tip. Just go to our Facebook page and comment on the giveaways post.
Yeah, it's Reptile Chip. It is. Shout out to JT, man.
Good.
I love it. Well, you are not a host on this show, so you could actually win a block.
That's true.
Oh, nice.
None of us
That's
can
good.
win it.
I got a picture of Ryan Cox sent me a picture of the mandala that he won during
yeah.
October. I was very upset that it's not mine.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
he wanted what? A picture of Nelson Mandela?
Yes, you got the Nelson Mandela.
Nice.
Picture. No, but that Venom proof or not Venom, Venom Life mandala was awesome looking. That's confusing. That's bite my tongue there. Anyways, moving on.
Oh God. Hi, Darren.
You're saying hi to people now in the chat.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hello, people in the chat. See, I covered everybody. So is this what you're doing full time now?
No, my full-time job, when I was in the Marines, I worked on the Harrier. That's the fighter jet that hovers. So I moved out here to California, and I worked for the Navy Department as a contractor for the same aircraft. And I've been doing that 22 years now. So that's my regular job. That's what pays like the taxes and the child support and stuff like that. But I also have I run a mixed martial arts gym. I'm the head coach for that, and I manage a bunch of fighters. So between that, the gym, the social media, the YouTube stuff, and the snakes.
So you had a lot of free time, is what you're saying.
Yeah, zero free
time.
That's
much free time.
That's why I barely made it to this thing, man. The guy I had substitute in the kids class was running late. So I had to hang out there with these badass kids until he showed up. And I'm like, fuck, I got a podcast. Like, dude, I called you 2 days ago and said, hey, I need you here on time, bro, because I have something to do. I got you, bro. And then he showed up like 4:50. I'm like, damn, dude. So, but he made it though, and we're here. Just a lot of stuff, man. It's just I attribute it to good time management though, man, and lots of sleep and unfortunately no drugs. Can't do that because I work for the government, but it would make things a lot cooler if I could just be blitzed out of my mind all the time. You know,
I'm a teacher, so I can't do that either. Because I figure the one time I do it, I'll get drug tested. So
I work for myself. I can do what the fuck I want. I want to fucking
I'm an asset to the government, so I gotta do this stupid shit.
If I want to snort coke off a hooker's butt, I can, and nobody can fire me. So you know,
God,
I could come to work after a fucking night at the bar and be hungover like crazy, but God forbid I smoke a blunt 2 weeks before and do a drug test and pop positive. Oh,
right,
no.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts, man.
You know, and I've said it before on this show. In 12 years in police work, I never once went to a call where some dude said, I smoked a blunt and then beat my wife's ass.
Not one time, right?
It was always, I got drunk and beat my wife's ass.
I smoked a blunt and fell asleep in the yard.
Yeah. Or I ate all the food.
Possibly naked.
Yeah.
So,
but as of last year, I actually started like really seeing that. You know, I've been here for a long time, and everybody's here in ball pythons. Oh, there's no money in ball pythons. You can't do this. You can't do that. I had 8 clutches last year and broke $80,000 last year. So there's definitely money in ball pythons. And then, you know, that's when I decided I can really like get to the point where I can do this full time. And this is my main source of income. So I gave myself a timeline to go full time with it. And that's 2 years, actually 25 months from now, I'm going to like stop my day job and all of my children will be out of the house. They'll all be adults by then. So I can actually like be irresponsible a little bit for once in my life. And so
funny.
So if I do screw up, I don't have to have my kids going, Daddy, I'm hungry, because those little fuckers will be they're gonna be on their own by then. So
Antoine's gonna be dangerous the day that he's no longer working for the government.
Oh my
oh
gosh.
man, who you telling, bro? So yeah, man. So I mean that was just an eye opener for me. And then I think half of those profits last year and then invested this year and like almost tripled my collection. And yeah, man. And I had like almost like 2.5 times the amount of clutches I had last season. And then this season coming up, I'm probably gonna see about 60, 65 clutches. So just grinding out, man. And now my son's here to help me. That makes my life a lot easier because he's my shit cleaner now. So you know, all he wants to do is have all his, because he has a YouTube channel too, and he plays video games like professionally. And whenever when he told me that a couple of months back, and it's like I play games professionally, I turned it to my dad and was like, "Oh, you're an idiot," and shit. Then I
Get a real job, damn it.
Then I watched him win $5,000 in Call of Duty a couple weeks ago, and I was just like, "Well, I'm gonna shut up," because
I love it.
So yeah,
that's where you're like, there's no money in ball pythons. There's no money in video games. Oh shit, there is.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, so he helps me out a lot. He's my camera guy most of the time. Cleans everything. He started doing my editing now too. So he has a little bit more work to do on that. But
nice.
But yeah, he's a good kid, man. He's
awesome.
Well adjusted. He needs. Go ahead. I say he needs a little bit more hustle in his body because he moves like a fucking snail. But
that's all fucking kids. Jesus Christ! My daughter is the slowest moving human.
I'm gonna buy a cattle prod.
She's only 10, and so I'm hoping it would get better with time, but I think it's just gonna get worse.
No, I teach teenagers. It doesn't get better.
Eventually, she's just gonna be moving backwards. So, James coached video games for a while, an esports team.
Yeah, they were bad at it. It was the first year. They weren't winning.
$5,000.
They were bad.
Oh, good.
Although I've also realized I've reached an age where I can't play video. I don't know the new video games. Like college, I could do pretty well, but now if you were to put me in front of it, I'd probably look like an idiot.
Yeah.
How old are you, James?
36.
Yikes! What? I thought you were going to say like 64.
Fuck you, Antoine.
36. How are you 4 years younger than me? God.
I was going to ask you how old you were, and I was just like, I don't want to do that on the podcast.
I'll be 40 March 21st, the weekend of Tinley. That's my birthday weekend.
Not all of us are built like you, Antoine.
I turned 42 7 days before that.
God damn.
Nice.
Are you going to Tinley or no?
No.
Not in March.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's gonna be my big that's gonna be the end of my new fucking diet and fasting program where I want to kill everybody because I just cold turkey stopped eating animal products and drinking soda, which is my biggest vice.
Why?
So
why do you hate yourself?
No, just because like with the heart attack I had back in May, which we'll get in that in a second. I was like, you know what? I just need an aggressive like weight loss program, even though it had nothing to do with like my health because everything else was fine across the board except for getting the vaccine. But that's a whole new fight for another day. But I was like, you know what? Let me just lose some weight and see what happens, and just try to switch up my meals some. And I want to lose like 60 pounds total. I think my Tinley weekend. So. But then I got an Airbnb. We're gonna cook like some briskets and shit and some fucking steak. So
Antoine is the reason I don't need diet. Antoine's built like a brick shit house, and he had a heart attack. I'm not gonna get healthy. Fuck that. I'm fat and haven't had a heart attack. I'm gonna stay fat. That's science,
I'm pretty
right there.
sure you have a tapeworm, and that's why you've lost all the weight.
You also didn't get the vaccine, right, Antoine?
I did get the vaccine.
Yeah, no, I know you did. I'm saying James didn't.
Oh, James didn't. Yeah. So yeah. So so everybody from my Patreon that weekend, we're gonna do a big party and then like just throw some dead animals all over the place and fucking bite their heads off and fucking
eat slabs of bacon.
So Chris Eaton will not be there. If it doesn't come from the store, he's not in for it. Oh my Lord!
Yeah, Chris Eaton's meat has to have a barcode on it.
That's right.
Oh man, we have to take Chris hunting. We got to take him hunting.
Yes.
I'm trying to take him shoot some pigs here when he comes.
Oh man, for real.
So
Let me know. I'll mail my rifle there and we'll get it into.
So, are you coming to Arlington?
Yep, I will be there. We were trying to hook up another charity fight that weekend. There were two guys.
More of a charity cuddle, but
who absolutely hate each other that wanted to do it, but I haven't heard back from them yet. And I remember posting on Facebook, this 100% will not happen because someone's gonna puss out. So one of my old students actually runs a boxing gym in that area. So he said we could use his ring if we wanted to in the gym. So
sweet.
Hopefully I'll know something about that this weekend. We can push through it. But if not, it'll just be, me hanging out with everybody and kissing babies and shaking hands and shit like normal. So
love it.
I think we're coming to Arlington. I think there's plans for possibly having a booth.
What weekend is that?
I don't know. Next February something.
I think it's like 11th and 12th.
11th, yeah, 11th and 12th, yep. Yes, I'll be in that Thursday, so I can sneak in Friday morning to see what all the vendors are bringing and snatch up my shit early and and just bring a big box to Earl's house and say, "Hey man, send these shits to me in a week."
I love it.
So I do want to. So kind of got hit on earlier. The question we asked this week that you came up with was, at what point monetarily or inventory size did you decide to take your hobby into a business? If you could go back, what changes, if any, would you make? And I didn't get a lot of answers, but I think that's a lot of our listeners don't have it as a business, more of a hobby. Max Hicks did say he lived in a shopping center for 2 years to cut overhead, and he was able to make it grow, but he would have gone more quality than quantity if he could do it again, which is what you've done. You started, you really have aimed at quality, which is really when people say there's no money in ball pythons, there's no money in buying cheap ass ball pythons. This isn't 2006 and you can't just buy whatever's available because there's only a few different morphs and make a ton of money.
Yeah, you have to spend that money, man. I mean, and not just on the animals too, just quality equipment and just like advertising and stuff too. Like I sponsored a bunch of podcasts in the past year, just to kind of get my name out there and just showing up to things, just show up to shows and just putting in that legwork, man, and just traveling and you know what I mean, just let people know that you're part of the community. So even the stuff that you don't put yourself out there with, like the charity stuff that I really don't kind of talk about as often, other people know I'm involved in it too, and they kind of appreciate that. So it's just a matter of just staying busy and putting in the work, man. And it's fucking hard. Like people think you just put two snakes together. Oh, I put two snakes in here, and now I got fucking $10,000. And who you gonna sell those $10,000 snakes to? Not to me. I don't know who the fuck you are. I'm not sending you $10,000.
Everybody sees Justin and goes, "I could do that," and I'm like, "No, you can't."
Yeah, there's no way, man. That's why, like, when you go online and see like certain projects prices get slashed because somebody jumped into the project and they can't get their stuff off, and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, half off!" I'm like, dude, I'm selling these shits for $6,000, and you got them online for $2,500. You know what? I'm just gonna buy these.
Okay, I'm gonna ask him
crazy.
What
this question on here.
Oh, go ahead.
So Derek's Reptiles said to ask you what your business motto is for High Desert Ball Pythons.
Oh yeah, I talked to him about that a while back. So you know, everybody has these crazy taglines, and it'd be like blah 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 reptiles, we family and quality and shit. So I kind of fell into mine because I was in a video with Miguel when I bought those pair of double head sunset puzzles, and I was like, well, to me, scared money don't make money. And apparently that stuck to me as my mantra, even though that's not, you know, so, and I actually took that line from House Party 2. So, so it wasn't so fucking philosophical thing. I remember, you know, so I remember hearing that a long time ago. I mean, and it always holds true, man. So like, you gotta put yourself out there and make those risks. But when you do that though, you're betting on yourself, and I bet on myself every time.
That's kind of what you've done, Robert.
Yeah,
with your business.
Sure.
In a year, you've gone very far from where you were.
Yeah. I mean,
you're not cutting PVC in your garage.
By the end of last February, we were building racks in my kitchen.
Yeah.
Nice.
And now we have 3,000 square feet and a CNC machine and 1,200 sheets of PVC right now. So yeah, I get it. I actually say that all the time. Scared money don't make money. I say it all the time. And James has probably heard me say it.
Yeah.
Because you got to be willing to risk everything you got. And you know, people ask me what to do for a living. I tell them I gamble every fucking day. I gamble. That's what we do.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I ask myself, if I do this and this fails and I fall flat on my face, what can I do to get this money back or to make sure we can eat later? And as long as it's a notch above sucking penis on the corner, I'm cool.
Oh my god!
I'm not going that far, but
our buddy Andy Hine would say $20 is $20.
$1 is $1.
$1 is $1, and you know, I mean,
oh god.
Darren Watson said, "No money don't make money either." I feel you, Darren.
Yep. Sadly, man, you know.
I would love to have money to start making money, but I just would love money at this point. I have yet to win the lottery. What? Oh, I'm just asking Antoine how he likes enhanced. See, that's ball python questions.
Well,
did you finish reading our comments?
Enhancer versus Desert Ghost.
Oh, at least you know what it means.
I know what it means.
Oh, I didn't know what it means.
I mean, I'm making enhanced Desert Ghost this year, so if that tells you anything, they're compatible. So I'm actually making enhanced Desert Ghost clowns. So it's like a nice midpoint between the two. So sometimes with Desert Ghost you get better black contrast with different morphs, And then with Enhancer, you get more brighter yellows. But the Enhanced Desert Ghost kind of marries those two together, and it's the best of both worlds. So I figure, one, it's easier to do that because I got Enhancer stuff and DG stuff, and I can put it together like that. So I don't have to spend more money on some shit I don't really need. But yeah, I like them both. But to me, Enhancer has the advantage because you can tell a single gene Enhancer right out of the egg. Sometimes you can't with Desert Ghost. Sometimes you'll see Desert Ghost and you'll go, man, this is either an ugly fucking visual or a pretty heck, you know? So
Yeah.
So Enhancer wins on that.
So did you go ball python route because of what you could do right now as far as the business side of it? Or is there a species you would have rather done if it was in the same boat as being able to do what you can do with ball pythons right now?
Well, I love boas, but I never got them to breed. Like the closest I got was a female shitting out a bunch of infertile like ovums or whatever you call them.
Yeah, that's always a horrible feeling to walk in and find.
I mean, yeah, and I've had like 30, 40 breeder females at one time too.
Oh,
and
geez.
it just and I could never get them to go, and it just was a complete failure. So I was like, I don't have the touch, I don't have the whatever you need to do. You know, I was just thinking, it's a lot better process trying to put them in the incubator and hope you got all that shit right. So then I was like, yeah, let's try the python thing. And compared to a lot of other species, man, pythons are pretty easy to breed. Like king snakes are pretty easy. Other colubrids. I started with northern browns, like the little DK snakes you find in like old lots and stuff too.
I love those things.
You put them things in a mason jar, and then all of a sudden they fucking you put them in the mason jar, and then a month later you got 50 of them. I'm just like, but no one's checking for those things, So I wish, because they're a lot easier to feed, I just give them earthworms and slugs, But yeah, but ball pythons, they just seem like a lot easier to breed, and I kind of fell in love with the little boring ass animals.
I just wonder if you've gotten any of the, and it drives me nuts because people always talk about people just doing some of this stuff for the money. But at some point, like if you're doing a business, it is obviously for the money. Like that's not I don't think it's a negative thing when it's done properly. And I'm wondering, you kind of got into this and you've got kind of big quickly. If you've gotten any hate towards that for people that have tried, but they've had pastels for 15 years and thought they were going to make millions off of that.
I get hate for other aspects of it, like for like the past year I did a bunch of like raffles and stuff like that for like incubators and racks and ultrasounds, and people were upset that I was making a profit off of it. And I was like, but I spend like 25 hours a week dealing with you asshole people who fucking sends PayPal friends and family or whatever, or goods and services, and then you don't win, and then you request a refund on your fucking. I'm getting a notice from PayPal that you want your money back, and I'm doing a dispute for things like that. It's just a hassle, man. And to me, my time is valuable. So if I'm putting up something like that for somebody, of course I'm gonna make fucking money off of it. But the guy that won just got a $3,000 rack for $50. Somebody just got a fucking brand new ultrasound, a $3,000 ultrasound for $25. You got to think of it on that aspect too. And what I realized is the people who had the most to say about people making money off of the raffles and shit, those are the people who don't have the platform to do it themselves.
Yep.
And they're upset that they can't. And that's what it comes down to,
I've never understood people getting pissed off because you want to put up with the headache of holding a raffle and you want to make a few bucks off of it. I've never understoed dumbasses like that getting pissed.
Somebody sent me a screenshot of some fat fucking Florida who was like talking shit about me or whatever. He was like, "Oh, I don't do raffles of any kind, and they should be ashamed of themselves." I was like, I have no idea who this person is. But
right.
If that's how you feel, okay. But
keep on scrolling. It's totally okay. You do not have to participate.
Well, usually my schedule is always up too. So I go, hey man, I don't really like to fight over the internet. This is where I'll be all year. I'll be in Pomona, Arlington, Tinley, Daytona. I will be here on all these dates. So if you have something to say, we can talk about it face to face. And I have no problem. And I have no problem chopping it up either like a gentleman or dumping you on your fucking head. That's your choice.
I was like, the problem is then they see a picture of you and they're like, no, I'm good.
So I can chop it up with somebody and and I can listen to what their little grievances is. I don't have to give a shit about it, but I'll give you an audience, but it's just people worry about too many things. And Like
so many people hate when people make money.
yeah.
Yep.
And
As if that's a
yeah.
horrible thing. We
because they're not the ones making money;
Yes.
it's someone else.
Yeah, man. So, like I tell people
Well-
at my job whenever they're in my business, I go, you know why horses wear blinders? They go, why? To mind their fucking business and get to their goal. And
Yep.
that's it. That's why horses wear blinders. So
right.
they're not worried. So they're not worried about the people that they're competing on either side of them, because that might discourage them when they're being behind. So if you look ahead at your goals and you figure out what you want to do, and then that's how you make your business thrive. Stop worrying about the next man next to you. Like, who gives a shit? People go, oh, I don't see how, like with the Patreon thing, that was the dude. They tried to kill me for that shit. I started a Patreon when I was home after the heart attack or whatever, and people would literally message me and go, so who do you think you are, Miguel or Justin or some shit? I go, what do you mean? Why do you think people should have to pay you for your time? Well, I get about 500 messages every fucking day from people wanting me to identify their pastel or spider clutches, and I can't answer all of those people. And the people on my Patreon that pay $5 a month, that means they probably care a little bit about their business and they want some help, and I help them out. So those people who always complain about not getting stuff from me, they're the first people to get access to what I produce. And that's why I have a Patreon, you motherfucker. So, and it works, So go ahead and ask Wilma, Rose, and Miguel about my Patreon, because they're in it too. So
I'm gonna make a shirt that
shameless
says
name drop.
"Be like a horse, put on your blinders." I gotta have something like that.
Mind your fucking business at the bottom.
That can be what goes on the back. So when you're walking away, that's what people see.
They read that and you just turn around and walk off.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god.
So we had someone in the chat say the issue with raffles is that they're illegal in most places unless it is a nonprofit. So it's a fear of a negative impact on our hobby, which is already under attack. I don't see giving away a rack as a negative thing. I don't see where that can go negative.
Yeah, that sounds like a cop out. Whatever. I mean, I don't raffle off animals though. Like I will like I put some up for like auction for like people when they've like, their house is burned down or they're sick and out of work and things like that. I've never done a raffle because I couldn't to sell something for myself, but I have raffle off animals for like good causes and stuff, and a lot of stuff's going on right now. So I don't mind doing that because it's most people in the community anyway that's involved, and not just some random person on the street buying a fucking an asphalt clown.
I feel like when you do, I feel like raffles and auctions, depending on what you've got up and what you're going for and the purpose that you're doing it for.
Yeah.
I feel like it could go either way. It could be something that is negative, or it could be something that is positive. I mean, we've, as part of the Herps group, we've participated in raffles to raise money specifically for, people who have lost their collections to fires or
JT stuff burned down.
Right. I mean, we've done it, and then there have been other groups across that have participated in those things. But that's one of those things where it's not everybody in the general public that is involved. Right. It's people in our community and people in our area. And
because
I'm going to be honest, if I ever have to be on the other end, the other receiving end, and not someone who is contributing to the raffle or the auction, I'm going to feel better about getting it, knowing that those people didn't just say, oh, here's X number of dollars. Instead, it's like, oh, look here, I bought this snake for this much money, but the profits go into you. But I was also that person growing up that when my brother had to fundraise for baseball, I wasn't standing on the corner with a bucket and asking people for money. I will stand on the corner and sell you donuts, or I will stand on the corner and sell you something else, but I'm not going to just stand with a bucket and ask for money. Like, you're going to get something when you give me something. And that's just kind of how I was raised. So,
and the thing is about those two, like those situations where people have accidents or they're down and out for whatever reason, like I know, and I'm sure you guys can speak for it too, like, if you, as a man, that's some swallowing your pride shit when you got to come out and actually ask for help.
Fuck being a man. I don't like to ask for help.
No, but when you're the stereotypical like man of the household and you're the provider and things like that too, and your family's counting on you to actually have the courage to step out and actually ask the community for help when something happens, that takes a lot. So with me, when I see situations like that, because I know, especially when I know someone on a personal level, I know how much it pains some people to see people donating for them, because it's just, you know, like me, if I got in that situation, I'd be like, you know what, man, I felt like a failure because of this happened, but I know it's outside of my control. But I appreciate all of my friends and my peers helping out too. So I mean, I never fucking stop to do that. So I think as long as you're a person who, yeah, I can do stuff. I do stuff for profit, of course, but I do just as much, as not more, for USARC and for charity and stuff like that too. So
Yeah.
I mean, most of the money goes out there. It goes back into the community regardless.
Well, I'm like, I know that was tough. Someone like JT, that was really tough for him when they're like,
Yeah,
JT, we're giving you money. Shut the fuck up. Here's money.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was tough for him. But that's the part of the hobby that I like. It's that we can come together when something bad like that happens, right? And we can help each other out. And if you want to do a raffle, to me, a raffle or an auction, if someone is getting something for less than what they would normally pay for it, then they should be happy. Like if you're raffling off a rack and someone pays $25 for a ticket, enjoy that.
Yeah.
If you win, you got a rack for $25.
Right.
The only ones upset is they spent $25 and didn't get a rack.
And then get a rack.
I mean, you don't go to the casino, put money in and go, oh shit, I didn't win. This casino thing is horrible. Like, you knew you were going to lose money going in there. It's a fucking casino. So if it's a raffle, you got a chance.
Yeah.
I did one for a PlayStation 4, and then somebody commented, "You can buy 4 PlayStations 4 with all this money." I said, "I'll tell you what, if you can find me a PS4 right now for retail, I will buy it for you. You got 24 hours. Go." Never heard back. Get back from her. I was nervous too. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, maybe he blocked me. Fuck.
So Jennifer said that she doesn't personally have an issue with any, raffles or auctions or things like that. It was just the fact of the matter that it's not really enforced. And that's the feedback that she's heard on why some people are anti-raffle in the community. And I know that in other organizations, James is going to roll at me, but like when I was part of a quilt guild, we shut up. We would kind of steer away from raffles because I'm going to throw my phone at your forehead.
Quilts. Let's talk quilts.
Shut up. I'm talking about raffles just in a different organization, but they were concerned for the same reasons that Jennifer stated. So, I mean, I could not necessarily the negative feedback in our community because it's old ladies and quilts. Like you're not really going to get negative feedback.
Yeah,
they're going to forget about it.
I mean, but there are people out there, like raffle fraud is a real thing,
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
It is definitely a real thing. Like I steer away from the ones where people just like, oh, it ended. I have a winner, and here's the post. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. It's just, to me, it's just too much. Like when you leave room for doubt. I don't like to participate in those. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like do that bad boy live so everybody can see it. Don't do it on your
Yeah.
phone. Put a screenshot and then post it 20 minutes later after your friend got the win for you, and now you can put it back up later. The same exact.
Right.
That's kind of shitty. You know what I mean? So
it's crazy the amount of what internet is allowed for fraud. Our friend Tracy's here post the other day. Tracy has a Kawadi. And they found out that someone taking her pictures off her personal Facebook of her Kawadi, and we're trying to sell that Kawadi in like Tennessee.
Yep.
Fun fact: I'm a black belt in Kawadi.
Did he freeze up?
Oh no, Antoine froze.
Did we lose him?
Or maybe we've. He's back. There he is. We lost you for a second.
You missed the best shitty joke ever just now. And I don't know if did the viewers see? Did the viewers hear it or no? Or did it?
Oh no!
I don't think. I think it messed up on your end for this.
Okay. I said, fun fact: I'm a black belt in Kawadi.
Jesus Christ!
Holy fuck!
Nah, that should have stayed away. That's the internet cut out for a reason to help save you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna see myself out.
Oh God!
Apparently they didn't hear it.
Apparently some people did hear it.
They've now heard it twice. They've now had to suffer twice.
Fucking Zuckerberg said we're not letting that shit on the metaverse.
Oh my God!
Sorry, people can't give you a refund for hearing that.
I got to school it in the metaverse from Sean Bradley this weekend.
30-day ban from StreamYard and shit. Hey, I paid them $50 a month, so they better fucking.
Yeah.
But the animal fraud online is just crazy. People selling things that aren't theirs, taking pictures that aren't theirs. We talked about that when we had Adeline Robinson on, and she talked about art. A lot of people, their art will try and get sold as well. So it's just.
Yep, I had someone take my pictures before I saw the
watermark
and everything.
I remember that. Yeah. We were at a show and someone pulled up and they were trying to sell your racks with your pictures from your website.
Yep. And I cussed that poor freaking kid in Las Vegas out until he was like, "Sir, I don't know what you're talking about."
Yeah,
because they spoofed his phone number. Yeah, I kind of felt bad for that kid.
My friend from Echo Reptiles, he was dealing with a bunch of like fraudulent and fake pages for months at a time. And some guy sends me a text message and he goes, "Hey, yeah, I'm Pierre from Echo Reptiles. Like, I just had a death in the family, so I'm selling a bunch of stuff off to help raise money for the funeral," which was fucked up because he literally just did have a death in the family.
Oh,
so damn.
But what the scammer didn't realize that I was Facebook friends with him, but we never changed numbers. But I knew him on Facebook. So after some back and forth text, I decided to call a number back and nobody answered. So then I called him through Facebook and was like, just shooting the shit. You know what I mean? Don't want to kind of ease into, hey, so how did somebody such and such die? So I was like, yeah, man, you trying to sell this puzzle female for $700? That's kind of low. He was like, "I'm not selling no fucking puzzle female for $700."
Oh my gosh.
He's like, "What are you talking about?" Because I was gonna tell him, "Hey man, like, I will lend you some money. If I don't want you to let this fucking $3,000 animal go for $700." So I was gonna tell him, "Look, man, look, we'll pile some money together, some groups, and we'll let me know how much you need. We'll help you out with the funeral. Don't sell these animals for dirt cheap. This is like crackhead prices, And then he was like, "I'm not selling any animals." I'm like, "For real?" So now I was kind of talking to him about that. And then I kept the guy on the hook for like a couple of days and actually had him come on Instagram Live. And so he pops it on a live, right? And he's got this blacked out background, like he's fucking in the, those like witness protection videos.
The voice changes.
He's like, "Please, man, I'm just trying to get money for my family and shit like that." I'm like, well, in this community, we're in trouble. It's a whole, we go about it a little bit differently when we need help. We don't fucking pretend to be somebody and sell off animals that don't exist and shit. We're like, "Oh, for like $5,000 of animals, just send me $200 right now to hold it for you." And then, he changed his Google number. You never hear from him again. So it was crazy, man. He actually came online and then he pursued it more for another 2 or 3 weeks after that until he finally like fizzed away.
Oh my word.
Jeez.
It was nuts. Fucking I got scammed. Myself and Billy from Mutation Creation got scammed by the same person in California for the same snake.
Damn.
So he got away with $8,000 in animals and shit, and Billy never got his stuff, man. And then the animal I picked up from him, he was moving when I went to go to his house, and I came back home. He blocked me from everything. He moved to his new address, and that animal died like maybe a week and a half later.
Fuck, that sucks.
So Casey Rowland, I know you're out there. I'm going to find you, buddy. It's only a matter of time.
In a dark alley one day.
It's not going to be nice either.
One thing I wanted to talk about, I forgot to bring up last week, and I wanted to bring up this week, was the change and then unchange on Morph Market. Because when we had the episode, there was a change, and then after our episode, there was another change, and I forgot to bring it up. For anybody,
I don't think they ever actually changed it.
I got some extra insight on that too. So once you guys talk, let them know, I guess, what you're talking about, and then I'll add to it. Yeah.
So Morph Market was going to or kind of pass a policy that was going to, and if I get it wrong, let me know. But from the basis of what I saw, was going to require the seller to cover the cost of a test for viruses. Right? They're going to have to cover the costs. How was that set up?
It wasn't going to require them. It was going to be some kind of notation as to whether or not the seller agreed to NIDO test their animals ahead of time. So there'd be like a precursor for that seller saying that, okay, this is a seller that agrees to do NIDO test before the sell, or this person does not agree to. So it was almost like a before you buy type thing. If you kind of went into the situation where you've had this problem before, you can kind of scroll through all the sellers on Morph Market and go, okay, I'm not dealing with this person, unless they do that. And apparently my guy got some crazy threats from fucking breeders, man. Like, and the programmers and things like that. People threatening people's family and well-being and shit over it. And I guess it was just like, it was supposed to start at the beginning of the next year. And then he just was like, fuck it. You know what I mean? We'll figure out something else. So,
well, and it wasn't, from what I read, it wasn't a mandatory thing. It was if you didn't have your policy written,
right,
then you get their policy by default, but you could write your own and not be an issue.
Right. but I think it would be known that you elected not to do
Not
it.
to.
Though I think that was the issue that people had a problem with.
Well, and there was a lot of people who said, had my collection tested, got 2 positives, had it reconnect tested, got all negatives, had it retested,
Yeah.
got a positive with a completely different snake. So there's still even some question as to the viability of the testing.
Yeah.
Well,
so it's just
I saw both sides. My thing is, I sell like a $100 sand boa. I'm probably not going to get it tested. It's a 100. Like, it's not a $10,000 ball pipe. Like, I hate to put a value on like this or that, but if someone is selling like $25 corn snakes, they're probably not going to get NITO test for the $25 corn snake.
Right,
The
exactly.
test is going to cost the same as a snake.
They're still like $60, right? Like I did a couple like a year ago. I like did most of the collection, but I got like a good like bulk price on everything. But like $60 a piece or somewhere around there.
Yeah, something like that. And there's only a couple of people doing them, right? Fishhead does them, and then I think there's one other one that does it. But I don't know. I thought it was when people got. I saw that as soon as he posted that, man, people got upset quick.
Yeah, man, it was fucking. It was pandemonium. It looked like old Bush League forums back in the day. That's how crazy.
If you think about it, though, it's very similar to. I mean, everything that we're dealing with COVID, and should you get a vaccine? Should you not get a vaccine? Should you have to get tested to go here?
Well,
should you not have to get tested to go there? And
you kind of get blacklisted as a human. Like if you don't have a vaccine, you'll have some people like, "Oh man, what's wrong with you? Why don't you get?" And then it'd be the same way with the reptiles. They go, "Why don't you have them?" And it could have been someone who has a great collection. They just don't want to deal with the headache of having to go through that. And there are false positives, and that could give you a whole new. You talk about. Sometimes you don't put certain information out there with your collection because it could cause issues. A false positive or something like that could really cause issues long term. Even if you come back and go, look, it was false positive. This is what happened. Once it's out there that it said you had NITO, people will be like, I'm not
you're done.
I just had a conversation with an importer, and he was telling me how he doesn't let people come to his facility. He's like, because inevitably, I've got 1,000 animals in there at a given time. Someone's going to open a tub and there's going to be some shit in a tub, or something might be dead because it just got imported. And next thing you know, it'll be all over the internet that I have dead, shitty animals. And same thing with, word gets out. I just had someone at a show telling me just all nonchalantly, all my snakes, I got a boa. And then like a month later, all of my ball pythons got sick and died.
Holy shit.
And I'm like, bro, you probably shouldn't be fucking telling everybody that. You need to hear, gave them some advice. Oh no, I don't think that's what it was. I think they just got sick. I'm like, it was like 150 pythons, dude.
You need to burn that house to the fucking ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just and what's crazy is you end up getting the person who has like one snake set up in this. They've watched however many YouTube videos and they boop their snoots, and that person is gonna go tell a person who's been doing it for years who has a huge setup so that they can do it that way, how wrong they are and how their animals are in horrible shape because they're in this or that. And I'm like, dude, you're in two different worlds. Like your importer's in a completely different world than the person that has their one hog nose that they give a name to and has a Instagram page.
He knows that they're going to come in with issues. They're going to come in with, he was telling me, he's like, this specific type of green tree python, when I get them in from this locality, they always have mites. I know when I open the box, they're going to have mites and I have to treat them. Or these are going to have this certain parasite and I have to give them this. And but he does it right. He's been doing it a long time. And he makes sure everything's healthy before it goes out. But I'm sure Antoine sees it in some of the ball python groups. It's always I feed my one snake outside of the enclosure, and that's how you should do it with your 150. Yeah.
Well, I watch people talk about mites all the time, and then people's like, if I hear anybody's ever had a mite, I would never ever buy anything from them ever.
Stop buying snakes.
I think I've finally figured it out. The way the reptile community feels about mites is how a teacher feels about head lice in her classroom. Because I straight up got hives the other day just because it was brought to our attention that one of our siblings from a little kid's class could possibly have it. And I legit had hives within 30 minutes. That's how this is how you guys feel about this.
Mm-hmm.
There's three types of breeders when it comes to mites. If you even have a decent sized collection or been doing it for a while, there's people who have mites, people who have had mites at one time, and there's liars. That's
That is a fact.
That's
Yes.
it.
Oh my God.
You had them now, you had them before, or you're full of fucking shit. Like,
Yeah,
it's
so-
like,
That's so funny.
I talked about it on here. I only had mites once before, and that was when I had one snake, and I tried
That
to
was
keep it in the
your
dorms.
dorm
and
room
the
in
dorms
college.
were fucking gross. And so once I got a snake out of the dorm, never had mites again. And then 20 years later, I got them a couple months ago. And like it's one of those things. It's just because someone has mites does not mean their collection is dirty.
Oh,
Does not mean
no.
their animals are not taken care of. That
Your
shit just
snake room's
happens.
probably one of the cleanest rooms in this damn house.
And
I'm a fairly
also
clean
got them,
housewife, thank you.
and we both take biosecurity very seriously.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we quarantine, we everything, but they still got it in our
Yes,
rooms.
I still have shit in my closet
So-
downstairs because it's in quarantine.
So I'm gonna help do some vending with a couple of breeders at the Pomona show. And what I think about this weekend is when the stuff you don't sell and bring back home, how do you quarantine those? The same way as if you bought new snakes? You like what's the process behind doing that? Is this like big extensive thing where everyone's getting sprayed down and you're doing like
When was the last time you did that?
It's been
and things like that? So
in the past, I should, but I didn't. But that was way before mites.
I'll
It's
say
been a long time since I've
while
done a
since you've
show.
sold anything at a
Since I've had any
show.
snakes at a show. I definitely would like to in the future, but that's going to require a secondary rack in a different area of the house. But it's definitely it's not something I poo-poo at the fact that it shouldn't be done. I know our buddy JT, he spray not our buddy JT, John Grant. He sprays every animal back down with spray when they come back to the shop or whatever from after a show.
Yeah, I know several vendors that do that.
Yeah, they treat everything when it comes back, which is probably something I am going to do. It's because he uses just the Nixon water solution and just sprays them down just in case. And I probably am going to start doing that.
do you guys do like a preventative thing like quarterly, or do you like spray down your racks or your floors? Just kind of.
I don't, but I haven't had them in 20 years, and it
So
wasn't
this
until
is the
recently.
first time in 20 years that we've ever had to deal with this.
And it's definitely something like after getting rid of them, I've been very careful about what I'm doing when I'm going from like even from downstairs where I have things in quarantine. I normally would wash my hands, but now I'm very careful about like trying not to go and handle anything up in the snake room if I've dealt with stuff in quarantine.
Yeah, it's put us back on pairing snakes.
Yeah, in the quarantine room, I don't use the same equipment. I don't wear the same clothes. Like the quarantine is the last thing I'm doing for the day when it comes to the reptile. So that way everything comes off, gets washed or tossed or whatever like that. And yeah, man, it's crazy. I hear so many horror stories about, people just going, oh, like I watch YouTube videos and people do an unboxing and
in their
doing
snake
it, like, in their snake room, and they're like, oh, I got this from Miguel. I trust him. It throws it.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, fam, not doing that shit, man. Like,
Look,
if Jesus sold me a ball python, Jesus' snake is going in quarantine.
Look, I've got two snakes in quarantine from friends right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, we are fairly certain ours came in on a Dumerals boa that we got from somebody who we know has a clean collection, but
yeah,
and
then doing as many shows as you do, it's so easy to pick up a mite, and one mite can just fucking turn into
wreak
hundreds.
havoc.
Yep. And goddamn, did you see the thread on World of Ball Pythons where everybody was like, freeze your reptichip because it has mites, freeze your bull. I didn't realize how many people think they get mites
From their bedding?
snake mites from bedding.
Huh.
So there can be bugs in the bedding, but it's not the same ones that they talk about.
Sure,
And,
it's wood mites and other things.
Right, there's a specific mite for coconuts and stuff too, but but I don't want to see those either, and I kind of understand that. But I'm also not doing the whole thing. People are like, oh, I saw a mite. I threw some isopods in my fucking snake tail. Like,
those isopods are gonna fucking eat your snake if you're not careful.
It's Gary Kyle's just chewing on them.
That's crazy, man.
Bart just posted that he's got het venomoids hatching because they were bred to a venomoid cobra. Fucking Bart.
Someone's gonna go, really? That can happen?
Yeah. Jesus. Yeah. Like one girl, she was like, yeah, I had mites and I took all the bedding out and I treated them and then I put all the bedding back and I got mites again. And I did that for 6 months. And we're like, because you never got rid of the fucking mites. That's why you still have mites. It's not the bedding.
Yeah.
Well, and if you've ever opened up a thing of reptile chip, it's dry as hell in there, and it's been on a ship. Like I was talking to JT, it's been on a ship for a long time.
Yeah.
Near no reptiles. You do not have reptile mites inside there on that ship crossing the ocean.
No, because the shit sits on the ship forever now. Trust me. I know.
But you probably bought that thing of reptile chip at a show,
It's not funny.
and there's definitely mites somewhere in that show. It's just the odds.
Yep.
And people don't realize too, like when you get animals shipped in boxes like that, you know, someone's gonna ship out. Someone, not stuff coming from you, but somewhere along the line, someone shipped out an animal with mites before, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sometimes when they're packing and moving things to that FedEx next day air and they're all hanging out in that shitty Indianapolis hub together. Fuck Indianapolis, dude. I hate that place so much.
Yeah.
I sent down 8 orders 2 weeks ago, and like some left Indy and some didn't. I'm like, they had to be right next to each other, and they're like the same label and everything. So, but back to what I was saying, you can have different people stuff mixed in, and you can get mites from 2 boxes from 2 different people sitting by each other as well. You know,
yeah.
so it's always crazy ways to do it, man. So just because someone's got this, what you think is an infallible collection and things like that, man, always this, even if it's just for like a month, like you'll be fine. Like if this animal that's coming in is integral to your breeding projects, but you need to have them right now to put with your female, then you're doing it wrong. You know.
Well, I don't. I'd like to buy babies in general. One, because I'm cheap and adults are expensive. But 2, I like the idea of I'm picking out an animal. I don't want to just settle for an animal that looks a certain way, because if you're wanting a good looking adult, someone's probably not selling that adult.
Yeah.
If you're wanting one for what you really want, what you're going to end up getting is what someone didn't want.
Is people getting out of a project and selling animals that are, no longer, or animals that are no longer producing the way they used to.
Yeah.
But
dude, I spent $2,000 for some adult female clowns that I haven't gotten fucking eggs from since I bought these things. I'm like, hey man, this is year 4. You better fucking, this ultrasound is looking kind of blank right now, so, but hey man, sometimes those good deals, man, aren't worth it. But
I've got a couple of females that we paid good money for as adults that haven't done shit except build follicles and reabsorb.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't like to talk about that here recently, this household.
What?
Because
we're
not gonna get that investment back.
Oh yeah, I spent $1,000 to get a snake through surgery, and then she just fucking died.
Yeah.
She grew a mass in a matter of like 24 hours
and was gone. Like
and died within a week.
Yeah, like before we could even do anything about it, it was too late.
Yep. I grew up on a farm, so I'm used to having animals that you spend all this time
crazy
nurturing and taking care of. Just look, it's laying out in the fucking pasture dead.
Yeah.
Cool. Wonder what happened. Ran into a tree and broke its neck. I had a $10,000 horse when I was a kid. It was a rodeo horse, and our neighbor's stallion broke into the pasture and was chasing her around, and she ran into a fucking tree and broke her neck.
Fuck.
Oh my God.
Gone. And this was, in the 90s when $10,000 was worth more than what it is now.
I don't know. At this moment in time, $10,000 might as well be $1 million for me. That's.
Did you see the video where they were trying to breed the horses and the mare kicked the male in the face and killed him?
Killed it.
No, I missed that one.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
It was just so much wrong with the whole handling of the situation, and she's just bucking and kicking and like cracks them clean and like stiffens them out and puts them out.
Fuck.
That's why you don't do live coverage.
That's why,
especially with
that's why you get that woman that goes in and jacks off the male for you.
Yeah.
And
so if you watch Yellowstone last night, they made that.
I did, man.
Yeah,
dude.
I just jacked off a horse. I almost put that on Facebook.
I started Yellowstone like 3 weeks ago, and I'm caught up now.
Yeah, Rachel's the same way. She's almost caught up.
I fucking
maybe we just need to get through the first episode
right now, man.
We couldn't get through the first episode.
I want to be a cowboy. I'm not gonna lie.
There's that new movie that's coming out on Netflix. That's all about the black cowboys from the West.
Oh yeah, I watched the one with Matt Love in it recently too. Yeah, that was pretty good too. Yeah, but
you could do
it. I'm all about that life, man.
I always find one of the weirdest things. We've always lived in cities surrounded by rural areas, but for some reason, like when we lived in Alexandria in Louisiana, and I know it happens in other places, down in in the poor neighborhoods, you'll see black guys with horses, and I'm like, where the hell are they keeping the horses? It's not like they live in the
their
country.
yard.
Oh,
Like, where the hell are they keeping this horse at?
In the yard.
You'll see them like 3 or 4 of them just riding down the road on a horse. I'm like, you're in the middle of the city.
yeah, but right here, like in Fresno, behind us is where a lot of those.
Well, see, that's different. Like out here, but like we're in Alexandria, like they would ride them through areas where
Like the
there's no
grocery
one's having a
store.
horse.
So I had this quick story. When I was a kid, I had this mare that we bought. Same stallion broke into our pasture. He was an Arabian. He was a
Damn
fucking
stallion.
asshole. And
He
bred
needs to get-
her.
she needs to
She's a
get
quarter
shot.
horse. She was a very expensive quarter horse. Bred her. She ended up having a baby, 11 months later. And it was the meanest fucking horse I've ever dealt with. She was just the devil. Bite you, kick you, try to wipe you off on tree limbs,
looks like
whatever.
an eating horse.
So I broke my ribs on her, had to almost get, like, they were talking about calling life flight because
Oh shit!
yeah, bad. So when my grandfather was the only person that could ride her, when he passed away, my grandma would not let us sell her. She's like, she lives here until I die.
Oh.
The day after my grandma died, I put her up for sale. and this old black man, this old cowboy that I've known forever, Mr. Ernie from down here in Fresno, he said, I want to buy that horse. I like spirited horses.
Spirited.
Here you go. He rides that horse in trail rides today. She's 30 years old now. He rides her in trail rides, says she's the best horse he's ever had.
Oh my gosh.
But he's an old cowboy, and my grandpa can handle her.
Yeah.
Mr. Ernie can handle her. If she senses any weakness in you or any hesitation,
You're
she's
done for.
She's done. She's gonna fuck you up.
You're done for.
Darren said they have horses in Philly. Just imagine riding horses through Philly.
Yeah,
Like not a cop, but just someone.
Right.
riding-
right.
It's crazy.
Fucking horses.
I don't know. So I'm looking at our time.
Snakes are expensive.
We're doing great on time, but I do have something that I want to bring up, and I'd love to get
go ahead.
Antoine's. Okay, so I have been tasked with being in charge of the zoology club. This is important. I put my lesson plans
You
away.
close things up. Okay.
I did. So I'm going to be in charge of a zoology club for our elementary school.
Okay.
And our elementary school is pre-K through fifth
With
grade.
that said, I want anybody out there listening. It is zoology, not zoology. I cannot stand people say zoology.
No, every time my assistant principal emails me, it's ZOO-ology and a smiley face. And I'm like, damn it, you're doing this just because I told you this was a pet peeve. But anyway, so it's pre-K through fifth grade. And I have been told that I can basically do whatever I want with whatever grades I want. I just have to have, it just can't be a blanket sign up because otherwise I'm going to get everybody. Like I have to have something that they have to do in order to sign up. I'm allowed to limit spots. She even suggested that I can say starting on this date at this time, the first 20 people that email me get in and they're in the club. And I'm like,
That seems
gee,
unfair.
because then she was like, if they don't make the cutoff, they don't make the cutoff. And
Fuck you, little kid.
hate it for them.
I don't care if you like dolphins or not. Shut up.
So pre-K, you're looking at 5 years old. Okay. That would terrify most people. It doesn't bother me at all. Fifth grade, you're looking at 10, 11-year-olds. So that's the age range that we're going with. So my question to listeners, and I'm going to put this on our Facebook page because I genuinely want people's opinion. If you were in my spot, how would you go about getting them to come in and be a part of the club? So something that we've thought of.
I wouldn't.
Something that we thought of was doing some type of a quiz that they have to go home and like research to find the answers
You
for.
realize at that age, that means mom or dad's going to go home and Google that shit.
You know what? If mom and dad really want them to participate in it, more power to them because it's going to get done. And it won't be the first thing that pops up on Google when you type the question in. Okay. I thought about having like the little ones draw a picture or, color a picture or do something like that. Because 5-year-olds obviously aren't going to write an essay. But they could draw a picture and then tell me about the picture. I don't know. Like I'm open to all possible ideas. And I figured our listeners are the best ones to participate.
Have you met
Yeah,
some of the...
it's just
Yes,
a big
I've met
age
some of
range,
them.
just like the age range and trying to have like, both all those age groups doing like the same task that's gonna be kind of hard because a 5-year-old wants to eat crayons or
So do Marines.
I was about to say or so do I. I want to eat crayons with the 5-year-old.
Oh my
And then like,
gosh.
and the fifth graders are gonna be playing on their phone the whole time, worried about what Ashley's doing on Instagram and shit, or who Snapchat is popping this week and things like that. So this fucking
the other clubs, I'm only the third person to do a club at our school.
Mhm.
The other club is student council, which is going to be 4th and 5th grade only.
Boring.
And then the next one is going to be a coding club. So they're going to like learn how to do things with robots. And I'm fairly certain that that's only going to be open to 5th grade. So there's not really anything geared towards the younger kids. And there was a part of me that was like, just do kindergarten through 3rd grade and just do like the littles.
Mhm.
And then make my daughter who's in 5th grade help me with everything.
or you could just like get with the teachers and then see what particular students from those grades have an interest in animals, and then kind of,
Mhm.
and then help them grow that. So if there's some kid that's always drawing like horses and freaking giraffes and stuff
Yeah.
like that, usually those kids stand out. I was that kid in school all the time who like always asked the teacher if we can have hamsters because I couldn't have them at home because my mom said, "How you gonna grab those rats without tails?" And then, like, there's always stuff like that. So, like, my 5th grade teacher, Miss Rice, like, we had leopard frogs, we had hamsters, we had whatever snake we could buy at the time. She was kind of like, let me fill a class of all the animals I wanted. And
Did
that's
she
kinda
teach science?
It was elementary, so it was like a general education. So she
She taught
science,
everything.
yeah,
Okay,
everything. Yeah,
because I teach English,
Mhm.
and
And
I
you
have
have reptiles in your
lots of animals in my room, and I teach English. So yeah.
Well, Hella Heat Morph said it might be better to break it down into groups for different ages.
Yeah.
And we said that, but the
Mhm.
problem was then that was more work on you. And
Right.
Katie is big on putting way too much work on
And
herself.
both my assistant principal, who I freaking love, she's fabulous, and I'm so glad that my daughter and her daughter are such good friends. But both her and James, like simultaneously on Saturday, were like, "But that's too much on you." So it was. It's funny how well
Katie
they
totally
both
would have
know
said,
me.
"Sure, I'll do that," and then
Yeah.
been up there every night of the week
Yeah.
with different groups.
Yeah.
Or just take a survey and see which age groups has the bigger interest and then go with that group, So you can also do that.
Mhm. And she also recommended like doing the older grades in the spring and then in the fall next year doing the younger grades and like rotating
So
it up that way.
that would work because then those younger grades move up
Mhm.
into the older grades the next year.
Yeah.
So that could
Yeah.
work.
It might be better to do the older grades in the fall though, not in the spring
That's
when
what I'm
they're
saying.
testing.
Doing the older grades now
Yeah.
and do younger grades in the spring.
In the spring.
And when they next year when they come back to that school, they're older. So some of those kids will be in the older.
Depending on which grade they're in. Yeah.
There's also
You
you
could split it
could
that
do
way.
it 3rd through or 2nd through 5th or whatever, and those younger ones you could just do like 1 week out of a month and do an event for them and have your older kids help them,
Ooh, that's a good idea too.
and maybe not have them in the club, but have them do stuff so that throughout the year they're doing stuff. So when they do finally get old enough in a couple of years, they can join the club.
Like they would have, instead of it being an after school club where they stay, I would just put things together for them to take home to do with their family. That's a really great idea.
You're welcome.
That could work.
I'm glad I could help.
Okay. So it's,
I just heard words, and a bunch of numbers.
so you'll put posts up there. And
I
people
will.
can
I'm
comment.
going to put a post on Facebook.
All right, so I want to hit a few things. I watched a lot of YouTube lately. I didn't listen to a lot of I know you don't watch, but I didn't listen to a lot of podcasts. I watched a lot of YouTube.
I've been watching a YouTube channel of a guy who built a 5-acre pond on his property.
Who is it?
It's the whole process called Bama Bass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's been freaking cool watching
He's
him.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I watched
and demolition videos.
Demolition. Do you watch Demolition Ranch?
No, but like demolition.
Oh, when they break things down,
blowing up buildings and shit. I don't know.
James wants an excavator.
I do.
We passed like 4
Yeah.
on the way home from work on the way home from the store today. And Josephine goes, "Why do you need one of those?" And both of us responded, "To dig holes." And she said, "Well, what are you going to do when you dig a hole?" And I said, "He's going to
Fucking
fill it back up and
put
then
question
dig
and ask
another
people in it.
hole." I mean, come on, Joe. This is how this works.
I'm telling you, I could get an excavator and just put me in like 5 acres and
So-
they're dig holes all day long.
Bart was buying a skid steer today.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, what fucking grown man doesn't want to own a skid steer, right? He's like, yeah, I'm getting ready to buy an excavator too.
Fuck.
Because he's got some good shit coming.
I just want to dig holes.
Yeah.
So I watched I gotta finish watching it. I'm almost done. The Animals at Home podcast, but they had our buddy Ryan McVeigh on from VivTech. And I really enjoyed it because it was a chance for Ryan McVeigh to come out and show the proof that his light bulbs do what he says he does, because there were some people when he came out with his light bulbs that kind of questioned that LEDs can't do what he's saying they can do, and LED bulbs, yada, yada, yada. but he showed the actual proof that yes, there is the proper UVA and UVB, and it is in an LED bulb, and it can last 2 to 4 years or more. And so that was a good one, just to basically watch him tell everybody shut the fuck up. He's right and they're wrong.
Nice.
Because Ryan, if I'm going to trust anybody about if the light bulb works, I'm going to trust Ryan McVeigh.
Mm-hmm.
This one our buddy John Grant sent us. It was done by, it's a non-reptile channel. It's called The Chapter, which seems to be all like trials and stuff, like people on trial. And this one was actually a little like 26-minute thing on Rennick reptiles and that whole trial, which
it would have been a really good video if that guy just wouldn't talk. Yeah,
he was stupid. But the whole story, at least it does explain the story very well. And people, if you want to see what happened, it was, the ending will upset you. The fact that she only got 16 years for what she did is fucked up. Because
you totally weirded our kid out when you got in the car today. He gets in the car this afternoon. He's like, "Hey, if you ever want to divorce me, don't shoot me." And Joe is like, "What is happening in my life right now?"
But
I'm not going to divorce you. I'm just going to make your life miserable if I ever get to that point.
She's going to do 7 of those years probably too, and that's going to really suck.
It's just fucking bullshit. But it's an interesting video to watch if you want to know the whole story, because it sounds crazy and it sounds like it can't be real, but it totally was real, and it's a shame because from everyone's accounts that dealt with Ben Rennick, he was a great person. No one really said anything negative about him, and they had a kid. The whole thing is just fucked up.
It happens more often than you know.
It's fucking crazy.
It is, man.
Well, and the whole story behind it, where like the ex-boyfriend she brought in to kill him was like, "Yeah, I don't think I can do that," and she was like, "Fuck it, I'll do it." And then she.
That just shows how.
What I didn't realize, that was the second time she tried to kill him.
But that was the whole reason.
Poison him with like
she tried to poison him.
Some shit.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
That was the whole reason she got a second-degree murder, is because he was saying she killed him.
Yeah, they couldn't prove it.
Killed him. They couldn't prove it. I'm just glad that they didn't go not guilty. I'm glad they didn't do a not guilty, saying we can't decide who did it.
But yeah, that whole situation, like I said, if anybody's in the reptile hobby for the last 5 years, you've heard it, but seeing that, it was just interesting listening to somebody who is not a reptile person putting that whole story out there. And it was also interesting to hear all the news clips kept calling him a snake farmer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and I'm like, it's not really a term that we use, but okay. Yeah. I mean, technically it's right. But
it is kind of right, but it's weird to hear. Yeah.
I say it all the time that we're farmers.
It just feels dirtier being a snake farmer. Like it doesn't feel legal when you say it's a snake. I'm a snake farmer. Like I feel like that's a place full of mites, not a nice clean
I'm just glad that like none of those dumbasses obviously didn't watch any crime show ever, like CSI or fucking, because it's just so many people involved in this situation that can run their mouth, and everyone in that situation could have sang like a bird, just offering them some fucking meth and in a couple of beers.
Yep.
They'd have fucking, all you had to do was sit them down, give them a little fucking crystal, and fucking smoke that bitch up, and they would have sang like a bird, man.
Yep. Which basically is, I mean, her new baby daddy, when she broke up with him, he came to the police. Hey, I got some shit to tell y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the guy all it took
was a bad breakup.
And then I didn't know she had her best friend / employee had her phone and that girl's phone, and while she was killing him, was having her text back and forth like they were at the spa. And that chick, she got immunity to come in. And
because she came in and said, "What happened?"
And then she was like, "Okay, well, can I get immunity from everything if I tell you everything I know?" Sure. Yeah. Okay, here we go, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, man,
what kind of friend is that? That's a fucking whore-was friend.
Dude, I'm going to tell you that in all my years as a cop, everybody fucking snitches. Everybody, when you get them in the room, will fucking, if they're stupid enough to go in the room and talk to the police, they're going to give it up.
Well, then so if you watch that video, they have court video, and you can watch the horrible fucking acting job of her crying on the stand.
Yes.
Where you're like, this bitch is lying. Like you can just look at it and go, this bitch is lying.
And then she tried to push the narrative like, oh, well, he was abusive and he was this and he was that and everything. And then I'm gonna get graphic real quick though, but then she gets to the story. Oh, he would like finger me while I'm sleeping. First of all, No man
Right.
that wakes up and goes, "Oh, I'm horny. Let me touch some coochie real quick."
Yeah,
That's it.
exactly.
Fuck out of here. Like, when I first heard it, I was like, "There's no way in hell." No one
Yeah.
rolls over and goes, "Oh man, my wife's looking real hot." Lily's all
Yeah, over there
crusted
drooling,
over
fucking
and drooling
sleeping.
and snoring right now. Let me
Yeah.
fucking,
Oh, let me pretend like I'm a 16-year-old again. Let me finger bang her real quick.
yeah,
Right.
like, stop it, man. That was just terrible. That was a terrible attempt at pushing the whole abusive narrative, and I've had enough for his abuse and things like that. Now, I don't know them personally. I don't know their personal life. For all we know, there's some stuff that may have happened at one time, the whole time they were together, because people have disagreements, people have fights. There was something, there's something going on. He probably called out her name one day. It was like, "You're being a fucking bitch because this shitty massage parlor you got is eating away our fucking money and it's taking away from the snakes." It could have been some shit like that, but for you to shoot somebody 8 times and then one of them execution style with the barrel right through his head, like,
well, and then the
nuts,
previous murder attempt through poisoning,
like
that right there on top of it, and it's just
there's other ways to get out of a marriage.
Yeah,
I mean,
you could have just fucking left. It's cool,
right. It happened.
Yeah, but now those poor kids have no parents at all, and
she fucking called the life insurance company the next day.
Yeah, the next. Are you like, that's so crazy? Like,
I'm learning all kinds of stuff tonight.
Any fucking court TV or
terrible criminal.
Oh yeah.
Well, and the whole thing was she did it. She went back to her salon, her spa, cleaned up, and then came home when she was done with work, and that's when she called.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on trial, they're like, they find out, well, no, she was there originally. Like, well, that right there tells you she's a lying bitch.
Well, and then you can hear in the 911 call, she sounds like, "Oh no, my husband's dead." I mean, it's not even like.
And then she tried to blame the brother.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
and then the boyfriend still had the gun.
Yeah,
that's the worst acting I've seen since. So one of my fighters, we had an MMA fight a couple years ago, right? And he's walking down to the cage, and we're the first ones to walk. And they didn't realize that this is a big casino too. So his opponent that's warming up, there's cameras all back there. So he's watching my guy on the television walk to the cage, and all of a sudden he stops what he's doing and goes, "I don't feel good." And then gently, he gently places himself on the carpet so that he doesn't hurt himself. And then, as we're walking out, we got our fight pulled there, which is the worst time. At least get in the cage, tap right away, so we can get our show and our win money.
I said you don't get any money, right? That's
no, but the organization gave us our show, our win bonus, and paid our medical stuff too. So I mean, but that doesn't, by contract, it doesn't have to happen. But they were nice enough that we went through so much to get that fight together that they hooked it up. But it was nuts, man. Like, I'm watching this guy on camera literally go,
I got the vapors.
Yeah.
When that just I don't know.
Bro?
I haven't thought of this story in years. When I was in junior high school, there was a park over in League City, and every Tuesday night they'd bring 8 or 10 bulls out there, and for $7 you could go out there and ride a bull. And
that seems
for $7
like
you can paralyze yourself.
A great idea.
My friends and I, we used to go there and do it all the time.
Oh my god!
And we had this kid that always, "I want to go with you. I want to go with you." All right, man, come on. So he spent his $7, and the first bull he rode, he just fell immediately off. So next week he's like, "All right, I'm going to go back. I'm going to do it again." He's hyping it up, and he got his ticket, and you have to have the little ticket to ride. And I watched him go in the bathroom, and he comes out, and I see him look around, like he didn't know anybody could see him, and he's like, "Oh," like he starts patting his pockets. "I lost my ticket. I think I dropped it in the porta potty." Yeah, he fucking chickened out, and instead of saying he chickened out, he lost his ticket. I haven't thought about that story in years, but as soon as you said that about the dude just placing himself on the ground, sounds exactly. I don't even remember that kid's name.
I want to try it one day, man, but I don't. It just
fuck that. I'm good.
It's not for big guys.
Yeah.
I mean, even like Antoine, he's not fat, but he's big.
Yeah, he's top heavy.
So you're top heavy, yeah.
That's why when you look at those guys that actually ride bulls, they're little motherfuckers.
Oh, they're all little bitty guys.
The belt buckle is half their weight.
Little bitty guys that are fucking cock strong. Because I mean, you're basically you're holding on.
Fuck that shit.
I mean, I like the perspective though. Like when you're comparing yourself to a fucking bull, it's nothing you can do at that point. Like, like if he's gonna do what he wants to do, and if you don't hold on and you fall and he stomps you out, hey man, that's it. Just accept your fate at that point. But
yeah, which one of them was it Miguel that actually got hurt when they did it?
Yeah, he cracked his ribs and shit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think the time on the bull registered on the clock. He just kind of like flailed off and fucking hit the ground. So yeah, his
That's all
ribs were
Heidi's
backed up
fault, isn't it?
For
Yeah,
a
I think,
minute.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
Heidi
I
set
think
that
so.
up. They said, man, we'd like to ride bulls. And Heidi was like, I got you,
Okay.
fam. All right, let's do it.
Oh,
She got the bull that had like a real the only one with a name and shit, and she was like, "Oh, you can go ride LMNOP over there."
oh shit.
All right. Our question of the week.
We did our question of the week.
Okay, what else?
Oh, I'll
YouTube.
watch.
You're gonna talk about
I was watching on my YouTube. Another thing I watched Snake Discovery, just because I like Snake Discovery. That's another one we talked about, a big change in the hobby. 20 years ago, Snake Discovery would not have been a thing. Like the general base of the hobby is not a group of guys watching Snake Discovery. Whereas now there's so many kids in the hobby because of Emily. And
is that the one where everybody kind of shows up at the shows with their onesies on and shit? Is that Snake Discovery?
So that was Tinley. So that was just this last Tinley.
Okay.
And the whole reason was Emily lost a bet, and so the deal was she had to wear a onesie. And then someone sent Ed a onesie, so she roped him into having to wear one. and they gave away these little llamas and onesie pins to the first however many kids and people that came up to them. And I thought the idea was, I mean, look, that is obviously not meant for us.
That was some marketing. That was some marketing fucking mastery, right?
But the great thing about that for the people that did that is if that's the first time they're coming to Tinley, again, their crowd is mostly younger people. If that's the first time they're coming to Tinley, they already have a built-in group of people that they can talk to. Because there's going to be other people there wearing onesies. And now you know, okay, that person is watching the same thing I'm watching. And so now they're not like the first time I went to a show and I knew absolutely fucking nobody.
Yep.
And I walked around talking to nobody. They had a built-in group already. And I've watched Ed and Emily. And that's one thing, just watching Ed and Emily, if you watch Snake Discovery, that's them. They're 100% that genuine and nice. And what they've done with their reptile zoo, I've got to go visit it. But that was the new video. They have their party room. They had a guy come in and paint a mural, and watching the video is worth just seeing the mural that he does on the wall. It's fucking amazing. It's like the swamp scene, and he goes and he's got several of their animals painted throughout the swamp scene. That was the video they put out today. I just thought that was really cool to see it. And it's not this, it's not a crappy mural. This guy did like 3 days, and it looks amazing. But yeah, I like giving a shout out to Ed and Emily. They're great people, and I say their stuff's not for me, but I watch every video they put out. They actually put one out where they had a bull snake get loose out of their zoo. It got out of one of the cages, a full-grown albino bull snake. And so they're actually having to take apart the framing around their cages because it got up in. And so Ed reaches inside this hole, and all of a sudden he just screams and yanks it. Bull snake was sitting there, bit him as soon as he reached his hand in.
Yep, they'll do that.
I use them whenever I have new people coming in, like how to house certain animals or people who have tank setups. I always send them like Snake Discovery links. And I'm like, hey, these guys will show you, how they have their setup and how you can take care of your animal like that. So that was a real great resource for things like that. So people who like getting in just for like keeping like the hobby aspect. So yeah, shout out to Snake Discovery, man. Which they don't need, but fucking
they are killing it. But it's really nice because, like we talked earlier, there are a ton of people on YouTube who have had a ball python for a week and now have 5 videos already on YouTube. Mm-hmm. They have stickers, they have a business name, all that stuff. And there's tons of that. So it's nice to see someone like Ed and Emily out there putting out good information, high quality videos, entertaining stuff that people can really use. And because they have so many views, the way the algorithm works, their stuff shows up before the shitty ones. Yep. So you can always hope people are going to see their stuff first.
Yeah, man. I've had the same time I started, there was like a ton of people, like a good dozen of people who all got in around the same time. And there's like 5 of us left from that, like, so too, because people realize, man, this shit it's hard work, bro. It takes a lot, and and when a lot of people who did get monetized, like within that year, and they realized that they were getting 86 cents a video, they're like, dude, I just spent $15,000 on. I got green screens and fucking expensive cameras, and I hired this editor that lives in fucking the UK, and I got 86 cents for this fucking, like, yeah, people were just going nuts about it, man. But like out of that whole group, I think me, Precious, and Shane Kelly, like, we kind of like, used our platform and kind of helped build it and still grinding it out though, man. So there's always gonna be, the contenders and the pretenders. So
Yep.
they show themselves real quick.
Yeah, that's why I end up only watching like 3 or 4 people on YouTube, just because there's so many out there, but it's hard to find ones that are worth watching or ones that don't piss me off half the time. Like that little kid that likes to open all his shit up in his snake room.
The one that takes in rescues.
The one that
sells them.
Yeah, rescues and sells. Yeah, that kid.
Oh shit.
But okay, that's all the stuff I went through. Because I wasn't gonna talk. I do want to say if anybody wants to watch Wicked Reptiles, he did one on our Tubbs Ethical, which he doesn't disagree with them. If done correctly, they are.
Go fuck with it.
No, I know.
That's a Canadian guy, right?
Yeah.
That's like a comedian too and shit.
He's a comedian, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
We've had him on before. He's cool.
Yeah.
He's not liked by many Canadians up there though.
No, that's why he wants to move to Texas, I think.
Yeah, because I've talked to other friends that are up there and they're like, they fucking hate him. I'm like, I like him, but he does a whole thing on some very simplistic keeping in racks, which in certain situations are great, such as someone who's breeding a ton of snakes.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he's not going to set up 4-foot cages for every ball python.
I didn't like his Bert Kreischer take, but
I didn't either.
Though, he seemed pretty cool.
He says Bert's not funny. I'm like, well, Bert's a fucking world famous comedian. What are you?
I'll tell you why I like Bert so much too, because I use something he said on the podcast in my everyday life now. So he was saying that even if he does multiple shows on the same night, he puts the same energy in the show 1 as the show 5, because there's always somebody in that crowd that's their first time experiencing him. Somebody brought their spouse along or someone they're dating to kind of see a show for the very first time. And he wanted to make sure that he has that great they get that great impression every single time and not getting some lackluster performance. Yep. So that's why so hearing that a couple of years ago, anytime I go to a reptile show or anytime I'm out in the public with somebody, that first, I don't even know half the time if I met this person or not, because there's so many damn people, So if I see you at a reptile show, I'm embrace you like your family. If you're following, hey, I've been following your stuff, and if you go, yeah, whatever, no, man, give people that audience and give people some time and talk to them. And if they're taking their time out to listen to watching your shitty fucking videos, at least you can do is say hi and take a picture with them, So that small interaction means a lot to a lot of people, I remember being that young impressionable kid. Dude, I remember hearing coming up on ball pythons, man. Brian Barczyk was the original YouTuber with ball python stuff. He was my hero. You know what I mean? Oh man, I want to have this empire like him one day. And then one day he acknowledged me on something, and I was like, oh shit, he knows who I am. You know what I mean? Just that little thing right there means a lot to some people. So just fucking do it, man. It won't kill you to be nice to somebody.
Yeah, that's right.
At all, or at least, listen to them and shake hands with them, take a picture with them. Fucking, it'll make their day. And that person right there, you had that one small experience with, might be that guy later on that spends a shit ton of money with you. You know what I mean? Right. Just because they were waiting on somebody to give them the time of day. There's a lot of people who I know they're like, well, I was trying to get a hold of such and such breeder, and I wanted to spend $50,000 with him, but he said he doesn't have time to talk to me. So I came over to this guy, and he was more than happy to talk to me before I even talked about money. He just, he answered my questions, had some advice for me. So I said, hey, this is who I'm going to do business with, and I'm going to be happy with this guy, for as long as possible. So those little small gestures go a long way, man. So my advice to people that's watching right now, those people in your DMs who ask what you think is a stupid ass question, if you got time, answer the question, dude. Be nice to people, man. And then, sometimes they'll blow up and they'll pay it forward. So don't be an asshole.
Life lessons.
I'm really good at being an asshole.
You really are, though.
But I do answer.
You're my favorite.
I do answer people in DMs as much as I make fun of people in public. I'll answer them in DMs. Well, Robert learned, doing the whole right thing. You've learned don't judge people when they walk up. Because, again, you talk about that person that walks up, wants to spend $50,000, may look like they have $500 to their name. I sold
that guy. One of the 2 racks I sold this weekend was to that guy you're talking about, that I had at a show that I completely didn't, almost dismissed in hand, because this dude looked like he couldn't buy a fucking tub.
Yeah.
And he, at that show, he's like, I'll take all 5 of these and pay me cash. So, yeah.
So I have a relative who actually manages an oil rig.
Mhm.
So he doesn't just work on it. Like he is one of like the head bosses in charge. And he went onto a BMW lot with cash to buy a vehicle. But he went in regular clothes that he would wear on the rig. And they treated him like trash.
Mhm.
And he left that lot and went to some other little fancy sports car lot. And they treated him better. And he bought a car there instead. And then drove back to the BMW lot to talk to the guy and be like, oh, look what you just lost out on.
Yep.
But oh yeah.
Well, and I've said this before. In this hobby, we're a very small group of people, which is I'm always amazed at how small because how many people like I'll hear on other podcasts or this or that. And I'm like, oh wait, I know that person. But any of us that have a platform, and this is barely a platform, but any of us that have a platform are not fucking special.
Hey, we still have 10 people. We started with 10 and we still got 10. We're going strong.
But
We
we're
were
not
up to 13 at one point.
We were at 14. I'm just saying. But we're not. I'm
gonna make this a point to make this your most viewed episode. So
I love it.
But we're not fucking. We're just people. So when you go to shows and people treat Justin like he is this mega thing, in reality, he's just a person. Like he's a person who's done amazing stuff for what he's done, but he's just a person. So I'm sure Antoine gets it as much as his face has been all over stuff now, and he's only had people that come to him and go, "You're Antoine," and they want to talk to him. But in reality, Antoine, he's just a person. Like it's not.
No,
but it takes nothing to talk to that other person, and now you've made their day.
Yeah.
And it's like when you know how it feels on the other end too. That's why that part of me, I'm always going to be humble when it comes to that, because like I mean. I might be the first person some kid one day looked on YouTube and saw it with snakes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, ugh. First of all, yuck. But second of all,
like, find somebody else. Come on, kid.
I know, right? So, dude, I had a dream the other night that South Park did a parody of me. What kind of narcissist am I? About South Park?
Hilarious.
It was funny because it had on like my hoodie and shit like that. It was like, "Hey, motherfuckers, want to see some snakes?" I was like, man. So in my dream, I was like picking on myself and like fucking overdoing myself.
Oh my gosh.
So, but yeah, it's just, but you never know who you make that first impression with too, man. So fucking make somebody's day, man. That person may grow up and be the next like Brian or Justin too, so.
Yeah, I sent you that timestamp because that's totally going to be the clip that I use on our little audio thing that I put on Instagram.
Oh.
I just need to know what the timestamp was.
Oh, I was like, why are you texting me? Like, come on.
Hey, motherfuckers want to see some snakes.
That should be your new business.
That's the new slogan right there.
That's the new tag.
Oh my god.
That's what you need. You need a shirt like that. It's your face, but like dressed as like Samuel L. Jackson from like Pulp Fiction.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Anyway.
anyway,
What again?
I had something I was gonna say, but I totally can't remember now because all I can think is, "Hey, motherfuckers, want to see some snakes?" God. But yeah, well, like we were at a show and a guy that you sold something to had no idea, and as he was walking, he heard us talking and realized we were on a podcast. I'm like, that's fucking weird.
Yeah,
it's really fucking weird when people like recognize you for doing stuff.
Yep.
So I tell you though, James, man, you do have the voice for this thing, man. I mean, you got a face for radio, but you got the voice for this shit. So it's fucking nice.
I know.
Yeah.
It's funny. So it's really funny because our daughter will be like, "Daddy's doing another podcast," because he recorded the new one the other night. And I was like, yeah, it's like, I guess we're both going to have to listen to it. She's like, I love listening to him talk. I'm like,
while she's 10, wait till she's 16.
Well, that's always been one of my favorite things. That when I couldn't sleep, I would be like, "Hey, tell me about snake stuff," and I would just fall asleep listening to him.
That's how boring
talk.
I am.
Hey, James, do you like to listen to your own voice, or is that like across the board where everyone hates hearing themselves? Because I will never go back and watch this because I don't like. Even when I do my videos, I'm like cringing the whole time editing.
I'm entirely too country.
I don't know. Like, so when I hear my voice right now while I'm talking, it is much higher in my head than it is when I hear it on a recording. It's very low when I hear it on a recording. So it's always weird. So I feel like when I'm talking, I'm like, man, my voice sounds really high for a guy my size. And then I hear my recording, I'm like, oh no, it's a low voice. I don't mind hearing myself, but I'm just like, I was there. I'm good.
We used to do, when we both worked at the zoo, our videographer would always pull the two of us to do voiceovers for commercials or videos that she was using for promotions. She would pull him because it gave her a male voice that she could use because he would never fuss about it. And he would always just come in and do what he needed to do and leave. Other zookeepers would kind of be like, I don't have time for this. And he never fussed whenever we called him to the education building for stuff. And then I worked in education, so
I want to be like a strip club DJ and shit, and be like, "Hey, coming to the stage is Veronica. Make sure she pays for that new. Make sure she can pay for that broken trailer hitch.
She's got 2 kids and a third on the way. Go ahead and get her some
dollars out there. It's like the strip club DJ and the weatherman is like the same person. You can move like this.
oh my gosh.
Back to you, Skip. Why do you always name him Skip?
She's got 2 and a third on the way, and if you catch that baby, you get a free lap dance.
The baby comes out the G-string and grabs the dollar.
I think this might be time to wrap it up.
Oh,
this might be our ending point for the night, fellas.
Oh shit! Oh god! That's a horrible image. It's almost like that video of the stripper with the flashlight.
Yeah.
Some buddies of ours from Reptile Show showed us a video that I did not believe until I saw it.
Oh God, that was interesting.
A whole different kind of light show.
Shout out to Sadie. She's a good girl. Not Sadie.
Oh God.
She's trying to pay her way through college. She's going to be a nurse.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, all right. So let's wrap this up. Antoine, if people want to get a hold, I tried to not talk about ball pythons, so Chris can talk about all the ball python shit.
There you go.
We talked about strippers and at one point doing blow off of assholes. So if people want to get a hold of you, what are all the ways they can get a hold of you, Antoine?
High Desert Pythons everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. If you want to text me and ask me some dumb questions, 760-977-6011. I answer all of my. I'm super public with everything, and I'm the easiest person in the world to get a hold of. So if I'm ghosting you, it's on purpose.
If he doesn't answer you, fuck off.
Yeah, pretty much. So I live with my phone in front of me. When I was waiting to get on, I was trying to find my phone, and I forgot I was using my phone. So, but man, hey man, but I appreciate you guys having me on, man. I had a fucking blast. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous to do this thing, man, because I didn't know what to expect. I was
We're Hot Mess Express.
I'm like, they just going like, I'm like, I hope they fuck with me the whole time, and I'm glad you guys did. So it was cool, man, because like I hate those like, yes, I have approximately 80 breeder females. Wow, fuck that. I was like, dude, what's your most anticipated breeding this year? I'm like, if I gotta tell somebody my most, and I tell someone there's something different every time. I'll be like, ultra male clown to this, and then the next
start
time
naming shit you don't have.
I start naming like, I got these fucking, I'm creating dragons this year, so like they really gonna breathe fire and everything. And
you should be like,
sold. Put me on the list for that shit.
You'll like this, Antoine. When I was a cop one time, we had a train derailment in our town, so we had to shut the highway down on both ends about a mile from the train derailment. And it got so fucking boring that like 3 a.m, I got so tired of people pulling up asking me what happened. I started just making shit up. Like, I told them, well, you know how those oak trees, I told this one lady, you know how those big oak trees hang over the highway down there? Well, bald eagles had a nest in there. One of the babies fell out.
Oh, shit.
So being that it's our national bird is federally protected, we can't move it. We just have to let nature run its course. It could take weeks. I told someone else that we had a verified chupacabra sighting.
Holy shit.
There's dead goats everywhere.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Well, if people want to get a hold of Robert, they can go to lsreptileracks.com and they can pre-order that rack or order it because he may have it in stock at the moment.
Yep. Send me a message.
Yeah, and if you need a rat rack, please get it so you can get rid of this rat rack.
Hell yeah.
I need half my warehouse back.
All right, James, people want to get a hold of us. What can they do?
If you want to get a hold of me, it is simply_serpents on Instagram or simply serpents on Facebook. If you want to get a hold of the podcast, it is the Reptile Gumbo Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. You can email us at thereptilegumbopodcast@gmail.com. Everybody listen out for the first episode of Stinks and the Fat Man in 2022. Antoine will be on there.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean he doesn't deserve it, but he'll be on there. I mean,
Apparently, people are going to be at my house tomorrow to record for
Oh, yeah,
Snakes and the Fat Man.
For the Christmas episode, yeah.
Fun.
So that'll come out towards Christmas.
I'll be
Listen
on
to
that too. So, and
So-
you guys enjoy your holiday. Make sure you guys are safe and everything.
Absolutely.
Enjoy yourselves, man. Enjoy
2.5
yourselves and
days.
family.
I can do it.
Man,
2.5.
It's just hard to get ready for Christmas when you turn to Santa. You know what I mean? Fucking. This is not the same. I'm more excited about the new Spider-Man movie they have for Christmas.
Yes. Yes.
I have to go see that this weekend.
I cannot wait.
I'm going on Thursday, so the fuckers online don't spoil it for me. Shit, be like, oh shit, the hobgoblin. I'm like, shut up.
Did you go see the Venom movie?
Yeah, I loved it, man. It got bad reviews, but I enjoyed it, man.
I don't understand how they got bad reviews. That was an awesome movie.
It was fun, man. I fuck with Woody Harrelson too. That's my guy. So
yeah,
you can't go wrong.
Your kid and I have plans this weekend because a friend of hers from Louisiana is coming over and we're going to a Nutcracker performance. So you should go to the movie.
I have a farmer's market, another market on Sunday, and a Christmas party Saturday afternoon. So
that sounds
we might be able to go Sunday sometime.
There you go. We're going to see the Nutcracker at 1 in Katy on Sunday.
But the weather's supposed to be shitty, so both of those events might get canceled.
I don't want to drive to
there's
Katy.
Anybody watching right now that lives in the California Central Valley, I'm having 559 fights this Friday. So hit me up ASAP and I'll get you some free tickets.
I don't know what that means, but good luck.
Yep.
Yeah.
So real quick, when are you going to move to Texas like everybody else?
It's looking more like Georgia than Texas.
Ugh.
Georgia.
Ugh. Don't.
Yeah.
They got like all sorts of laws over there. Fuck that place.
I found some crazy properties out there that I'm not going to be able to pass up, man, for that price. So
you're gonna live next door to Justin.
It's like I'm gonna be like in between Bob Vu and Justin probably, and fucking somewhere along those lines, but not Atlanta. Like it's fuck that.
No,
as long as you don't do corn snakes, you're okay.
You can't have any corn snakes.
Yeah.
And what? You can't have corn snakes where?
In Georgia.
That's crazy.
They have really fucked up animal laws.
Yeah.
So, but
and it's Georgia. Don't go to Atlanta. The whole place smells like piss.
It's like New Orleans.
Now New Orleans smells like piss and alcohol. There's a reason New Orleans smells like piss. Atlanta shouldn't. Just smells like urine.
So,
all right.
All right, Antoine, stick around. Don't go anywhere.
Okay, cool. I'm here.
All right. Thank y'all for listening. We probably won't be back next week. Let's take next week off. Yeah. Take next week off. Merry Christmas to us. And we'll see y'all in 2 weeks. Good night.